Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show with me. Hold on, I haven't done it yet. Oh my gosh, this is terribly done. There we are. Okay, great, nice one. Welcome to the show, Rencast with me, Ren26. We got some more NS2 today. Hopefully you joined me yesterday and earlier in the evening when we had some live streaming with Wasabi1 on Natural Selections 2 mains channel. Well, right now we're going on my channel, and this is going to be a pretty good game. Let me turn this music down, I've always got it too loud. So, today's game is going to be iMAGINE versus Saunamen, so you know this is going to be a good one. These two matches will probably be very even. We've got Tay and the commanders are already logged on, and the rest of the iMAGINE players, we've actually got quite a lot of them on the server already, so hopefully we're going live soon, which would be nice, but we're going to be going on Tram and Summit today. As always, week 1 has been Tram and Summit, so we will be seeing these maps a lot this week, and then we've seen them. Actually, pretty much every game's been casted at this point, and we will be moving on to week 2 very soon. So after my cast, I'm not sure how many will be left, but a very small number of matches. And next week's going to be pretty good. Descent and Veil. Veil's one of my favourite maps. I really like it. I've pretty much discussed Tram and Summit to quite an extent already. And hopefully, if we don't get a Steve restart, I can just go over some of the stuff I've already mentioned before. So Tram's a pretty simple map. You've essentially got a kind of I don't know what kind of shape this is going to be. It's kind of like almost a basic square, but then everything's kind of offset up here. You've got this kind of weird section up on the top right, but everything otherwise kind of fits a basic square structure. It's kind of like Summit on its side, so kind of unskewed. You've got Summit there, apart from this server room section at the top right, which kind of makes things a little bit more interesting and makes things more interesting, definitely. In terms of the spawns, we're trying to enforce an alien spawn in the south. So we will be doing a couple of restarts to make sure that we get that southern spawn for the aliens, and then a northern spawn for the marines. Doesn't really matter where it is, warehouse or server room. So we'll just be waiting for these players to join up, and then we'll be good to go. We've got Saunamen versus iMAGINE. Both of these teams are pretty much in that top 5 bracket. I'd say the top 5 teams at the moment are going to be Godar, Snails and Titus, and iMAGINE and Saunamen. And a couple of those are maybe slightly better. Maybe Snails and Titus are maybe slightly better than the other 3 teams. But certainly Saunamen and iMAGINE should be at the equal stages at this point. They've had plenty of weeks to practice since the NS2 WC. Both of these teams should be very prepared and ready to take each other on. And at this point, it should just be the better team wins. And we'll see how it turns out. But that's what we're hoping to see today. Some really good games between these two evenly matched teams. And they're definitely up there in the top level. So that's going to be really good to see. In terms of the maps, we've got Tram here, which is a pretty simple map, and after that we'll be moving on to Summit. These are maps we're seeing all the time at the moment, because this is the maps we play for that first week. And next week we're playing different maps. Let me just check the schedule, check out what kind of matches we've got coming up later on. So yet to cast for this week, we've got Mr. versus Omnom from Division 3B. Other than that, this week has been completely covered, it looks like. Absolutely everything. Oh no, we've got another match coming up very soon. Cheesecake versus Gorge Casting Couch. And Radical haven't played their match yet. That's going to be on April the 3rd, so that's this Thursday. After that, though, we're going to be seeing a lot of games from the Week 2 section, as in fact we're seeing a lot of those maybe even coming up today, Sunday, March 30th. We've got, a couple of teams are actually playing today, which is interesting, from that Week 2 section. And another match as well, Torsen versus French Company. So we are even going on to the Week 2 stages as well. So we've got some really interesting matches up there. We've got Titus versus Godar, and we're finally seeing Godar coming into this, because we haven't actually seen them play yet. This Week 1 hasn't had a Godar match. I wonder if that's because there's 5 teams in the Premier Division, so they have to sort of, one team every week will sit out. And it looks like Snails, Titus, Saunamen. So it's going to be iMAGINE next week, sitting a round out. So that's unfortunate for them. Whilst the other team's getting points, they're going to be a little bit behind there. And Godar as well getting behind a little bit, because they're missing out on one of these matches this week. So the server's filling up nicely. I do believe the game's a little bit louder than I would like. Yeah, should be a good match. These two should be as evenly matched as you would expect, and we're right up there in the top level where we've got all those great teams. So really should be seeing some awesome players. I can't wait to see how these guys deal with the changes that we've got. So the balance mod changes. I won't run through them line by line, but essentially the philosophy behind it is make alien upgrades cheaper. So that's going to be biomass, shells, those kinds of things, as well as the lifeform upgrades. So the extra spells that the skulks, for example, get leap, the Umbra ability, making all of those much cheaper, which means you get access to them sooner on in the game. Really awesome to see that stuff, and as Versal mentioned earlier in our previous cast, that makes it more entertaining for the actual individual players who are playing on the alien side. They get a bit more to work with, and it makes it a more engaging game for them, which is good, I think. It's just a really good result. Some of the other changes we've got is making the environment stuff a little bit more expensive, so whips, crags, shifts, and shades. Those are slightly more, actually quite significantly more. I mean, 13 T-res for those now. That's quite a lot more, and we're probably seeing a lot less of them. Certainly when we used to see perhaps a crag and a whip combo defending a tunnel, now maybe we'll just see just a crag or just a whip, maybe not both. Maybe we'll be seeing more gorges to compensate for the fact that crags are now more expensive. Maybe you bring out the gorge with the tunnel and the healing to support your aliens and keep them in the fights longer. I wonder if that'll be an option. Other than that, the phase gate delay is actually an interesting one. So we've got a delay on the phase gates now. So basically when one marine comes through a phase gate, the next marine that wants to go through has to wait that 0.5 second delay. Once that's up, he can then go through, and that's gonna keep going. So if you want to get 5 marines from a spawn, like a beacon for example, into hub, because of the phase gate connection, it's going to take 2 seconds actually to get all 5 marines through, which is a significant amount of time, especially when you're trying to defend that from maybe a couple of skunks attacking it. That essentially makes it harder to rely on the phase gate quite so much as we usually see. So these marines, you can usually expect if you've got 2 marines near one phase gate, they can get to the other phase gates pretty quickly. Adds that little bit of delay, forcing them to maybe be a little less aggressive and less reckless, perhaps, giving the aliens a little bit of advantage. We'll see if that has any significant effect. It's hard to know for sure. Mucus membrane has been changed from armor regeneration to health regeneration. Not sure why, not sure what impact that will have. We'll see. Actually been seeing a lot less crag upgrade in general. In fact, in the previous couple of rounds I casted earlier today, we saw some shade upgrades with the shift upgrades, but no shell upgrades. So that's a really interesting one. We'll see if the aura upgrade is more valuable than the shells. That could be potentially possible, but we shall see. Other changes, probably another one of the most important ones is the fade energy cost of blink. The initial cost there has been reduced, so when they first start that blink, the requirement is less, so they can do it even though they've got low energy. And also it's just going to cost less, so when they're doing it multiple times in one engagement, they'll overall have more energy to work with, making them essentially better at what they're meant to be good at. They're meant to be this anti-infantry unit. They're meant to be roaming around the map quickly, getting to different locations, and once they're there, clearing up marines that don't play well and don't scare them off with good amounts of damage. And that was generally a difficult issue with such high energy requirements. So we'll test that, see if that has a big impact on the game, but it looks like it is. In general, we've seen some strong fades that have been allowed to stay in combat a lot longer than usual. So maybe it's quite a significant change. So that's a good one. Other changes, I'm not sure there are any. There's one about lurk eggs, it doesn't really matter. Overall, it's just all about the upgrades for the aliens. They're much cheaper, and cyst maturity time is a lot reduced. So now when you've got your cyst, for example, these here will be fully matured at this point, but it only takes 60 seconds to get to that stage, and maturity equals health. So as the maturity goes up, the health goes up. It's a lot quicker now to get that mature cyst, and to sort of balance that out, the max health of the cyst has been reduced. So it makes it a little bit easier for the aliens to get set up these early cysts. So in the first 60 seconds of the game, maybe the marines rush in. It's going to be a lot harder for them to clear the cysts out. But at the later stages of the game, it'll be a lot easier to clear rooms. Once you've emptied it of aliens, you can clear the cysts out a lot quicker. So that's a good change, I think, in my opinion. It means that the aliens have an easier time taking map control, and the marines have an easier time removing that map control. So that's a nice shift there that should work quite well. Everything else is essentially the same, but those are some pretty big impact changes that should essentially mean the aliens have a lot more options available to them. The lurk upgrade, the skulk upgrade, we're seeing them a lot more often these days. Because the biomass is a lot cheaper now, you see biomass coming in earlier, supplying these guys with a little bit more health. Not a significant amount, but just a little bit there. Which can mean an extra bullet or two before you die, which could mean you actually get the kill rather than lose the fight. It's a little change, a little addition to your fight that might help, might not. In general, those are the changes, though. Everything else is pretty much the same. All the marine stuff is the same. You've got all the upgrades are the same. Nothing's out of the ordinary there, so we'll probably be seeing the similar running lineup of mines, arms that would be coming along, and then weapons 1, armor 1, weapons 2, and shotguns pretty much as soon as you can after that. And at that stage of the game, it sort of balloons out, where things kind of change depending on the resources and depending on who's winning. So we should be seeing that come up very soon. So we did just have everyone we needed on the server at that point. Someone's just reconnecting at this point. So looks like Saunamen are ready. And in fact, we'll go through their lineup right now. It's going to be Nitsi, Wee, Llama, Nate, and Peachum with Tane in the comm share, I would assume. And we've also got for the Imagine guys, we've got Wob, Ancestral, Malga, Hyvol, who's going to be the commander, Ownzor, and somebody else. I can't remember. Just too bad. Ah, good point, Wasabi. I hadn't thought of that. That's a very good point. Yeah, that'll do. There we go. I'm not sure what Amalau Mercs is. Maybe they're looking to actually replace one of their usual players with a Merc, which is usually a disadvantage for your team. You usually want to play with a full-on 6 lineup and not replace any of those guys. So the first map is going to be Tram. Looks like the Imagine guys maybe have selected aliens. I'm not sure when they did that or even how, actually. I'm not even... It's a lot of stuff I don't really know what happens. It's kind of behind the scenes for me. I just sort of turn up and cast. I don't really know how people take teams. I think it's 50-50. You choose what team you want so the enemy gets the spawn location. That doesn't sound right though because the spawn location is fixed. What is it? The map? I can't remember. So Imagine maybe going for that alien start first. It is a fixed southern spawn for aliens, so we will be restarting until we get the southern spawn for the aliens in shipping, northern spawn for the marines. It'll be interesting to see how these opening plays come out. So we've seen a lot of either armories or arms labs coming up first, and some very delayed observatories, very delayed. In fact, not at all in some games. In general, I'm a fan of the armory and the arms labs first. They're just a lot more effective at getting your job done. When you're a marine on the ground, you want an armory for the welder and the shotguns. You really want the arms lab to support your damage. The observatory itself is obviously a little bit useless. The scans are alright, but they're quite expensive. And the phase tech upgrade that it allows you is very valuable. Hard to control without upgrades, though. Hard to hold those phase gates once you haven't got upgrades. So if you prioritize the phase gates before upgrades, you'll have big problems. And they're also very expensive, and if you lose them, then you can really get behind. Looks like the Saunamen guys are ready, so yeah, the final lead. Oh, I was wrong about the lineup, so it looks like Peachum's going to be in the comm share, and Tane is perhaps the just the guy who runs the team. I thought that was the other way around, though. Imagine still waiting on that 6th player. Looks like Alcalde is the 6th player. He's in the ready room at this point, so he should be going live very soon. Something we haven't seen actually is a lot of these a lot of cat packs. We're missing a lot of cat packs. Cat packs are vital if you want to take on Onos, because the little bit of extra speed you get when you've got that cat pack on, you can make it so much drastically more difficult for the Onos to clear a room. And that can be maybe an investment of 9 T-res for 3 cat packs on 3 Marines. And instead of losing a fight in a phase gate and a bunch of stuff and map control and all that, you'll actually turn the fight around, take an Onos out, and change the game. So that's generally why we see cat packs, and so they can be quite expensive, but they can definitely pay for themselves in the right circumstances. And if you don't have cat packs and you're maybe struggling on weapons and armor upgrades, once the Onos comes out, you're going to have big troubles trying to hold them off. That's essentially the same story we've been seeing every day, is when the Marines are trying to essentially trying to keep up with the aliens, but they're kind of struggling to do any significant harassment, and they're sort of losing a lot of extractors. It's always the point where the aliens just keep going, keep taking in the resources, they get the fades out, and still the Marines hold on a little bit, and it's still quite difficult for them. They've got more shotguns coming out, and it's all very slow paced, and then the Onos comes out and crushes them, because they just don't have the upgrades to take them on. Still waiting for iMAGINE to ready up. They're still waiting for that 6th player, actually. It seems like Alcalde joined and left. I wonder why that would be. Oh, there he is again. So he's rejoined now. I wonder if he's having connection issues, or maybe he's just trying to reset a couple of his mods and set them up correctly. He has joined the team now, so maybe he's actually ready now. Okay. So perhaps we're going live right now. Excellent. We are going live. I need to mute my music. Yeah, we are going live. We may have to do a restart, depending on the spawns. Yep. So we aren't live yet. We're still going to keep doing these ready ups and restarts until we get a southern spawn for the aliens. It's a 50% chance. So if it ends up happening about 6 times in a row, you know something strange is going on. Or maybe it's not 50% if it's not a uniform distribution, which doesn't really matter. Nope, we're going for another restart. At this point we're just waiting for the server to let us play. Yeah, again, we're just waiting for the server to set us up with a southern spawn for the aliens when we go live, and we're not live yet. Okay, excellent. We're going live in 10 seconds. This could be the one. What happened to the... Okay. 30 times, I don't believe that. Alright, I think this is it. Unless the spawns are wrong. There was another issue with the ready up not quite working, and maybe this is it. Excellent. So we are going live finally with the shipping spawn for the aliens, server room for the Marines. That's interesting. And it's going to be no Gorge and a 2-2-1 split for the aliens, and no armory or arms labs, so a 3-2 split for the Marines. That's really interesting. Initial engagement looks like it will be in mezzanine. Nice parasite onto Wee, double parasite. He's losing a lot of armor there, just tagging them over and over, and he's really running out of armor. Looks like these 3 guys are going to try and hunt Alcalde. He is around the corner, and he's got Onzor just around the next corner. Nate catches him nicely. But there's 3 skulks in position in the northern side. Maybe Malga goes for the extractor. Maybe he goes for the crush onto the platform location. All the while, elevator transfer is being penetrated by those 2 Marines. And you've got a solo defense. So there's a lot going on the map right now, and this is going to be difficult for the aliens if they don't start getting some kills and clearing the map up of Marines. Great job from Wob. 3% HP there, and Ancestral from behind clearing that Marine. They were separated. Now Tane is taking a 2v1 perhaps, depending on what these aliens choose to do. A 2v2, holding off these 2 guys at elevated transfer. Very nice job from the aliens. Not actually winning a significant amount of combat, yet still holding the Marines off due to the parasites and not losing too much health when going for those parasites. Malga trying to take the platform, RT. Nice job outsmarting Nitsi there, who was trying to get through the vent, trying to be sneaky. And then he outplays him. He goes straight through. 3 skulks in mezzanine. Base was actually a little bit vulnerable there, but they didn't quite know. And at this point, they really have got to worry because logistics is completely covered by Marines, and observation probably will go down too. 4 extractors are up. That's elevator transfer, mezzanine, and platform, as well as the spawn. And this is the only other harvester the aliens have at this point. They have a crush with the 3 skulks. 2 of them have actually really done a great job of taking out both of those Marines that remained, and only 2 skulks defeated, not all of them. Really nice win here. Onzor's going to have a really difficult time taking on Tane and Nate, and the Saunamen guys are being extremely aggressive. Here comes the respawn wave, and Onzor needs to hold these guys off and be very careful. He is alone right now. The Drifter goes down. That was somewhat inevitable. It was kind of stuck in this room, and now Onzor is being hunted. He's got the parasites on there. That was a really nice job taking the parasites and not getting killed. Maybe a bit of a base rush. You can see sort of a general movement here to get through. And with so many aggressive plays, you can see you've got 3 Marines in the southern side of the map, meaning you've only got 2 Marines in the northern side. So maybe you clear that up with 4 Skulks and take the base on. Maybe force a beacon, but they don't have an observatory, so you've got to go for a big play at this point. When they're being this aggressive, you've got to go pretty aggressive as well. Base is vulnerable, 2 Spurs are complete, Nate and Tain going for eggs. Highvol is out of the command chair with Malga, running straight into that fight, but not quite getting any significant damage done. Highvol's back in the chair, maybe ready to pop some eggs if he needs to. Alcalde with a fantastic flank straight through south tunnels with a lot of speed. Ancestral, Highvol and Alcalde take down Nate, because those 2 guys were split apart and didn't have line of sight of each other. You got Wob taking on Nitsi just long enough to really bring in Alcalde. Now they've got great different line of attack here, forcing Nitsi to look to 2 different angles. Great job minimizing damage there. Llama versus Onzor. This is a nice little 1v1 engagement. Onzor, we've seen him do it before. Slow and steady. He doesn't want to take the engagement until he's ready. And Ancestral comes in with a lot of speed. And now they can outnumber him and actually Tain with the long range assistance though. So good job bringing Tain into support. Warehouse, you've got 1 guy versus 1. Alcalde with the Parasite. Not quite hitting Wee here. Now he's forced to retreat because he's low health. Wob with the 1v1 onto Nitsi. And we're seeing a lot of small engagements right now. And it's really playing into the Marine favour because they're winning quite a lot of them. You can see Malga and Ancestral here taking out 1 Marine, and our Mezzanine is vulnerable. But Saunamen guys are already way ahead on Extractors. Despite having lost quite a few, they've still got that maximum at the 5 there. You can see they're at the 5 and maybe even pushing to 6. Malga maybe looking to take on Nate, who's dropping mines, so they've called the fact that they're dropping mines in the base. It's good to know that. Malga going for the nice drop attack. Yes, double bite, and very nice with the triple bite, taking him out without any response. Fantastic job from Malga, just outsmarting him there. Base is vulnerable despite the mines. And again, they're in it. Look at this. All 5 aliens are right up against server room with none of the Marines in defense. But they refuse to go for the base push, and I think that might cost them. Nitsi a solo defense in hub. They've taken out hub, but it didn't really matter that that guy was in hub. He wasn't getting very much achieved. Spurs right now taking huge amounts of damage, and one of them will go down. But Llama and Tain right now near the back of the room, but still reloading. And here comes Ancestral doing a great job of their significant damage against those 2 guys whilst they were reloading. And now a nice cleanup. But again, I really think the base could have been a good play. Because at this point, they're just taking Extractors, going aggressive. And there's so many Extractors they've got to kill at this point. It's going to be really tough for them. Highvol, the commander, he's fed up of sitting in the chair with unable to do anything, so he's got out now, headed toward processing, maybe to just get a nice quick kill. He does try and tag him with the Parasite, not necessary though, he already is quite low on HP. Highvol goes for the Extractor. Onzor gets the Extractor at Warehouse, although he'll have a 1v1 as soon as it does. Malga coming in to make it a 2v1 could be really important, because if they can kill Wee without losing one of these Skulks, they can move on to ore processing and start clearing these Extractors much quicker. That's going to be Onzor for ore processing alone. With 2 guys in repair room, here's the Lurks finally out with the 5-minute mark. They're so delayed. Wob and Ancestral flying around together, which is good. You need to work together as those Lurks. And you've got Onzor in the top as well. And not quite sure what they're going to be doing. Looks like they're trying to deal with the recappers. You've got Tain solo up in the north in Warehouse. There's no way he can take these 2 guys on. They're playing really well. Ancestral takes a lot of damage. And he has to be careful trying to get back to his hive to heal if that is his choice. Here comes the hub. Look at these guys mobilizing, trying to cut these Lurks off. You can see they went straight for the play to cut them off. Wasn't successful. The 2 Lurks get back to the hive to heal. But that's the risk of sending those Lurks straight through to warehouses. There's a lot of areas you can cut them off. You finally got Onzor and Malga just outside the spawn again for the Marines. Only 1 guy in defense. There's Tain with the Parasite. Nice one from Malga. There's a mine just about next to the little circle I drew. And Onzor walking through platform, trying to catch Nitsi. It's a good job from him, trying to outsmart these guys, not trying to take the fight at the Extractor, but going to a secondary location nearby where he can try and initiate on this guy with a little bit more of a surprise. Here comes Ancestral and Wob with Malga from behind. That's the double Lurks with the Skulk. There's a mine on that Extractor, and the Lurks choose not to go for it. But they are clearing other mines, which is valuable. It looks like Onzor retreated to Warehouse rather than take the platform fight, and this is looking a little bit better. They do need to deal with this guy in logistics, otherwise he's going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Here comes Ancestral, nice and quick. Crag goes down to Nate's furious attacking. He didn't even care about the Lurk there. And that Harvest is dead as well. That's going to cost them a lot of T-res, and it's going to set them way back. Especially with those fades a little bit delayed already as well. So it's going to be very late fades. Good upgrades for the Marines. You've got that Weapons 2 coming along. Shotguns armor 1, Weapons 1 already. Wob and Ancestral, this double Lurk play. Still not getting anything significant done, but at least they're not dying. Phase Taker started. This is the point where they really need to step it up and do loads more damage. They need to really get a lot of these Extractors down and maybe even go for the base a bunch more. At this point, Tane had a nice opportunity to take a 2v1. Doesn't actually get both of them down, but does get one of them. And that's important to actually reduce the damage that he's going to take on his building. Maybe even saves it when he comes back to life and tries to recover that shotgun. They've built observation, so there's an extractor there. A lot of money for the Marines right now. You can see these two guys are coming aggressive. You've got two shotgunners coming up against a lurk in the hive, and he might actually go down at this point. Wob in a lot of trouble there. You've got Alcalde just around the corner as that second lurk. Hivol gets out the chair. This is looking really bad. If you take a look at this, Hivol, the commander, is dead. Ancestral with low HP near the hive, but these guys really have the room to themselves at this point. One of the Spurs is dead. The next one's going to go down anytime soon. You're going to get a respawn wave. There's Wob with the respawn. Llama and we maybe should have been paying a little bit more attention to the respawn wave. But there it is. Hivol's back in the chair. They lose one Spur and one lurk. Crag is replaced in the base, and maybe we're seeing that Spur as well, but they've got very little money, and that losing that Spur is going to cost them long range for the next few minutes. A little bit of a flank onto Nitsi, who's in the vent with a shotgun. Nice scan goes down behind him. At this point, those Saunamen are looking very good. They've got a lot of extractors, they've got the phase tech unlocked, and this is going to be their play to put the phase gates probably in a hub, and maybe even repair. There it is, and repair. And we've got the first phase gate out on the map outside the spawn. And again, you've got a great opportunity to go and attack stuff on the northern side. Although this time they've got the phase gate to contend with, so they'll have a hard time actually attacking the base itself. But they've got a good job taking on warehouse and platform. That's really nice to see. Mezzanine as well, perhaps. Depending on how this 1v1 goes, and if they bring the lurk back in, who is actually not available at this point. If they can clear Nitsi with Onzor, this would be a really nice time to take another extractor out. He's just going for the slow and steady fight, and actually the ladder there slows the Marine down. Nice job, Onzor, finding the observatory, and that's going to be... he's going to take it low. Wee comes in from the side, takes Onzor out. You can see he got it pretty low, though, even that significantly small amount of time. Malgor onto the phase gate inside repair him as these Marines push into shipping. Here comes Wee with the single Marine play to defend it, and he takes him out very nicely. That's the weapons too. Not a problem for these guys. At this point, the aliens need to find a new play. They aren't going to get fades anytime soon. It's going to be really delayed for those. And at this point, the Marines are just taking a lot of money. And they need to work out a way to stop that and turn this around. You've got 3 guys with 35 P-res at this point. Perhaps you just make only one fade. It's hard to call for sure, but I think at this point, you need to rethink things a little bit. Maybe go for a gorge in some fights to try and add that extra healing and a bit more pressure into the northern side by healing these guys up when they get low. For example, a gorge in this fight, Onzor would be full health. Would make it a lot easier to clear up mezzanine. Nice job actually assisting and taking the harvester elevator transfer. And Nitsi is alone with a shotgun in here, and they do need to make sure they kill him nice and simply without losing any of these aliens. Great surround, and even on top of him there, just to make it even harder for them to die. Ancestral with the solo defense as they lose their 3rd spur there, 15%, and Nate actually not quite finishing it. Does get it with the next round. But choosing to go for the spur there has made it very difficult for him to clear the room of aliens. And they do get cleared up, but they've just lost all 3 spurs, setting them far behind at the 10-minute mark. They're essentially just as strong as they were when they spawned. So this isn't really at all good for the aliens. They need to find a way to work around this. Losing the harvester elevator transfer, that's probably doomed, and Onzor's finally dealing with the logistics extractor. But at this point, iMAGINE are trying to hold on, and I don't think they're going to be able to, especially with that Weapons 3 coming on. This is looking very bad. Marines have got everything they need to secure this win. They're playing just aggressive enough to deal with eggs and spurs and everything in the hive. They've cleared up one of the lurks, and the fades are delayed enough that probably maybe the 12.5 minute mark we'll see those fades finally. But there'll be a stage of the game where probably they won't be effective enough to turn it around. Ancestral with the long range spiking. He's doing an alright job, but he takes a huge amount of damage as soon as they change target from the harvester. At this point, the Marines have kind of just pushed up. They've taken a lot more extractors. Repair room is vulnerable at this point. I wonder if they care. Maybe they're just going for the push onto the hive. Ancestral, he's going to find it very difficult to get out of this section. He's just slightly above this corridor. He could get hunted, perhaps, by Tane, but Tane's got to deal with this skulk on the side, and then another one as well coming in. Malga taking a good amount of damage there. He's on about 20% HP, and another Marine comes in. Here comes Ancestral with a very low HP. Does get taken out. Great job from the aggressive Marines pushing through into logistics with 3 of them, making sure that lurk had no escape. We are seeing the 40 P-res tick coming in just a second. Spurs are being replaced, but here come Marines to try and deal with that. 5 Marines, in fact. You've got all the Marines on the play right now, in the middle of a scan, in the middle of the enemy hive. They've got everything they need to just clear up the aliens, deal with the aggression. Alcalde from behind, really good job taking on Malga. Sorry, Nate. Or Nate, perhaps. We've got a lot of shotguns in the room. Only 3 Marines remain. Tane picking up that shotgun that was just dropped from his deceased teammate. You've got a lot of eggs and a giant crag, it looks like. It's actually on the roof. I'm not sure how they managed that. At this point, they've got the respawn waves coming through from the phase gate observation, so even if the aliens clear up these Marines, they've still got to deal with that next wave that's coming in from that respawn. This is looking like a good game, where essentially the aliens are running out of eggs and running out of lives. And even if they cleared it up at this point, I think they would still struggle. Where is that what? That's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, that was a very good game. They played that very well. The iMAGINE guys really struggling to try and take anything there. Their early game was a little bit weak. They were not winning on much combat, really struggling in engagements, which made it very difficult to stop the Marines from taking a lot of the map control. They had a lot of extractors up, and the extractors equal upgrades. And once they got those weapons 2 armor upgrades, which were pretty early, the shotguns and the phase tech all came along seamlessly without any interruption. And at that point, they didn't even have any fades coming anytime soon. I don't think we didn't even see the fades at the end there. So, really good job from Saunamen to deny those fades. Even up to the 12-minute mark, really good job from them. High aggression and really good job taking extractors as well as being aggressive. It can be very difficult to balance those 2 aspects because you've got to actually set Marines to go on that recapping line, through platform warehouse. You've got to send guys to actually do it. And whilst they're up here, you're not actually able to attack logistics or observation with that guy. So it makes your attacks a little bit less effective. And also, as soon as the aliens get a couple of skulks through, it makes it very difficult for the recapper. It at least slows him down, and there's always the potential that the recapper gets cleared up, and they start chewing on one of the extractors he's already built. So that was the weakness for iMAGINE there. They were kind of struggling to clear the recappers, and then the extractors. There were just too many of them to deal with, and they weren't winning enough engagements to compensate for that fact. We'll see how they do on the Marines. Marines are generally a stronger team, I think, at the moment, even with some of the changes. The changes generally affect the later game, or maybe the mid game, slightly more accurate. And for the aliens, it allows them to get a lot more upgrades, so that maybe at the 12-minute mark they're a lot stronger than they would be before. But certainly in the early stages, the first 5-6 minutes, they're always going to be pretty much the same, even with some of those balance changes, which makes the upgrades cheaper. Looks like Alcalde from iMAGINE is doing another little reconnect, trying to get back onto the server. Maybe he's having issues with his mods. Who knows? Who knows? I still think there's definitely hope for iMAGINE to take the next few rounds. I really think that was just an extended game that they'd lost within the first few minutes. And obviously it looks a little bit one-sided when that happens, because essentially it is not based on the team skill. Oh, I forget I'm on camera. Not really because of the team skill, but because of the fact that they kind of lost those first few engagements and set themselves up to be losing by not having a significant amount of upgrades compared to the Marines. So, yeah, I'm not sure it's as one-sided as it appears there. Definitely, it's those first few minutes can make a huge snowballing impact on the rest of the game. I think that's essentially what we saw. Is the Saunamen guys had that one, or it was certainly very far ahead at the 5-minute mark, and at that point they played well, stayed ahead, and did everything they needed to secure the win by having that extra little bit of aggression into the hive, clearing up some of those upgrades. Excellent. So it looks like the iMAGINE guys are ready for the next round. Because High Vol in commander, he's a very notorious commander, and he's very good, so he's probably shouting his team to do a little bit better than that, and we are going to be going live in just a second. So we are just going to be waiting for the southern spawn for the aliens, which usually does take about 20 to 30 seconds for a couple of those restarts. There's another one, so we got to wait for the game to go live in the 10-second point. We are going live in 10 seconds. Damn it. Okay, we're going back live in 15 seconds. Hopefully we get that southern spawn for the aliens. As always, we have to just do a couple of restarts on this map because we're enforcing a southern spawn for the alien side. Live in 3 seconds. Oh, the likelihood of this is ridiculous. I can't believe how often the Marines spawn down here. And then they spawn here with the unreadied version of the game. The aliens spawn here like every time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Are we live? No. What? We've done it about 8 times. Oh? Oh. I could have sworn that was it. I'm pretty sure someone just accidentally restarted it, despite the fact that the hive was perfectly fine position. Alright, we're going with another restart in 5 seconds. Anytime now we'll be getting that restart with the aliens in the south. Anytime now. Excellent, nice one. Finally going live with round 2. This is iMAGINE vs Saunamen, blah blah blah. Alien spawning in the south and a server room spawn for the Marines with an infantry portal and an armory for the Marine Commander to build. So he's dropped his extractors, dropped everything he needs, and he's going to be building up for a while. Nice little early gorge from Nitzy inside the position observation, so maybe a tunnel connecting that up with maybe logistics. We'll see about that. Nice spread from the aliens. You've got 4 of them, very hard spread out around hub, trying to tag these guys with parasites. And in fact, they're a little bit too spread out, making it very difficult for them to win any combats at this point. Those guys are just going to move into repair room, maybe take that, maybe even push logistics. Really nice investment. Gorge with the triple shell immediately dropped. So they spend all of their resources on the shell and a single harvester. Now they've got nice 50-second triple shell upgrade. So that is their priority at this point, is grab the shell upgrade Probably Carapace, because it's, I think, generally better than regen, and then you can swap anyway, so you can swap to regen when you need it, making the aliens very strong nice and early. At this point, you've only got 3 extractors up for the Marines right now, so Saunamen taking on one of those 3 is extremely vital. Wob here, solo defending it, but he's got to deal with Peachum on the extractor and Llama from the side. He's done a good amount of damage onto Llama, but Llama actually does a lot of damage back. Wob takes it with the defense, and Peachum only had to do 2 more bites, and that extractor would have been defeated. Extractor in logistics, very strange move, very, very strange move. Has been taken out. That's 10 resources that iMAGINE have just lost into an extractor they really couldn't have held long term, and actually didn't even hold short term either. You got Alcalde trying to push into observation. Now the infestation here from the tunnel is keeping that harvester up, and tunnels have a significant amount of health, so it takes a long time to desist that, or to remove the infestation. Good team combat here. 3 skulks with the gorge behind, healing these guys up, and look what's significant about that. All of these 3 skulks are now moving on with almost full HP. Tane just about missing one of those heal waves there. You got mines being dropped into the middle section in hub here, and actually huge mine, but he survives because of that triple carapace. Owns or takes the room though. Really nice double rifle kill there. Another tunnel exit, helping these guys save on resources when it comes to the cyst investment. Nitsi listening for Onzor. He's now got to take a 1v1, but Nitsi's got the advantage of being able to sneak underneath that section there, which is slightly separated from the corridor that Wob is in. Onzor here. He's got 3 skulks to deal with. You can see through the walls these guys, and they're coming in all at the same time. There's the gorge immediately as well to heal these guys up. Really good job from them. Observation now is a big issue. That tunnel's going to go down before anyone's able to get out. And now they've got to come through, straight through. It's desisted. And very little aggression from Saunamen at this point. 3 extractors only up at this point. Check out observation. They're going to lose the harvester. Unless they can get the gorge in position. He is just about coming. He may be able to save it. Really good job from the gorge to be right in the right place. Maybe he drops a tunnel, maybe he doesn't, but either way he can heal spray that to keep it on health. They do need to sort a way out to get infestation on it though. What is Nitsi's P-res? It's on 7. He needs to be dropping that tunnel. He hasn't really thought about this. He needs to drop a tunnel. Oh, there it is. Didn't need the infestation there. Very good. Biomass has started, so Saunamen are looking to tech up quickly and strong. Very strong. Nice early start from them. So they've got the triple shell. They don't want to waste any money on sys and nonsense like that. And then actually I'm wrong, because they're actually investing in the sys and the crag and all that kind of stuff. They do have that initial biomass now. What's the purpose of that? A little bit of extra health. That's pretty much it. It's not going to help them in any other way, I don't think. You got the double lurk sitting in the tunnel going through to try and defend observation. There they come, nice and quick. You've even got the nutrient mist there to try and mature this stuff a lot quicker, making sure that it's on max health sooner. And they got the double lurk played back through the tunnel to defend it on the western side. Malga and Alcalde in defense. Here comes Llama, the first one out. Takes a pretty decent amount of damage. He's now on 50% health there, and he's got to be careful with the next ambush and the next volley of attacks. But the lurks have played phenomenally well. Saunamen doing a great early job here on the aliens in terms of combat. The thing they have to worry about, though, is that the Marines have a lot of extractors. We check out the resource towers. You've got a pretty decent average, and it's gone up steadily. The team resources is getting pretty high for the Marines. It's escalating as well. So the aliens need to work out how they're going to combat that. At the moment, they're winning defensive engagements, which looks nice, but overall, defensive engagements don't win you that much. You need to be winning offensive engagements too. You can see right now they're making smart plays, platform and all processing, just as the pressure was alleviated slightly from iMAGINE. They've gone through to platform and all processing to deal with that. We popping off the extractor whilst it was on 59% there. Now, Calde's trying to sneak around to take on Wee. He's actually jumped into this pit here, into this trench, and Wee has the opportunity to just go around and maybe harass the base. Or maybe something else. He definitely had an opportunity to do a bit of damage to the base and force that guy to sit there. Again, these lurks being very defensive. I think that might cost them. They do need to go offensive, deal with some of the recappers, and help out the skulks. But it is working for them in some aspects, though. Obviously, it appears like they need to defend because there's a lot of Marines attacking them, but then also that's kind of a circular argument because, of course, if they went and attacked, they wouldn't have so many Marines attacking them. So that is one aspect you do need to consider. They do lose a gorge and a skulk at logistics, and now they've got the lurks split up, and they're really struggling to defend at this point. The tunnels may go down, especially in logistics, where they've got 2 guys shooting at that and no crag or any defense there. Owensville gets taken out on the eastern side, but they've really got to get quickly onto this tunnel section inside logistics, so they're about to have big troubles here. Tunnel goes down. Llama with Nitsi and Peachum, that's 2 skulks and a lurk. Good job from Llama flying round the side there, jumping on top of B1, who gets taken out, finished by his teammate, in fact. Really good job from the aliens in terms of combat defensively. Again, But as I mentioned, it's more than that. You've got to be on top of the recappers and on top of these extractors. They do have 4 extractors, which isn't too significant, but they're going for a +2. There's the armor 1. You can see the impact that's having. They've got a pretty good amount of upgrades at the 6-minute mark. 3 Marines storming through here. Wonder where they're going. They haven't got the phase tech, so it's not a phase gate play into hub, but maybe looking to do some aggression into logistics where they know they just took out a tunnel and it's slightly more vulnerable. Double oak play with the Skulk and a Drifter as well for the Mucus Membrane, which recovers hit points, not armor regeneration in this balance mod. B1 and Malga both parasited, you can see by the yellow names. They're trying to make a position into logistics, maybe to split up logistics and repair room. Or processing is also assisted, so at this point Saunamen are feeling very confident. They've got 3 biomass, which is increasing the health of these lurks somewhat. Not too significant, but it may help in some engagements, especially when the lurks get away with maybe 3 to 5% HP. That would have been the difference between life and death. There's a lot of range damage onto B1, who's got a lot of med packs, but no armor. Very nice shotgun blast, and actually Llama needs to be careful at this point, because a single Marine with a shotgun is still very dangerous. 5 extractors for iMAGINE, but 3+1 for Saunamen. The opportunity, though, for iMAGINE to actually take one of these harvesters out at repair room, and all processing build as well. So iMAGINE still on top of the upgrades and the resources. That's where they are succeeding at this point, despite the fact that they've been losing a lot of engagements. They've been doing a lot of resource damage and are keeping their extractors up. Tane and Nate here. On top of elevator transfer, actually losing that engagement where Nate didn't want to commit to that. And Onzer and B1 have cleared repair room, pretty much securing them that harvester kill. That'll probably go down very soon. Good job from Nitzy actually getting through the map. You can see he's going to be on top of that extractor, and then probably next is going to be all processing. So good job from him. You got Nate and Llama, double lurk play into elevator transfer to try and clear these guys, and then make an opportunity for a Skulk to clear the extractor. Wob very low, and then Malga with only health, not much armor to speak of. Really good job from those guys, flying around perfectly, not taking any significant damage, coming in just as on the reload, and then clearing them up. But then again, they've got to go defensive on top of logistics. As soon as they would have had an opportunity to start doing some damage, they have to come back and defend and heal up. Here comes Nate and Peachum, and then Llama as well, who's just getting a little bit of extra health from that hive. And they force them out with the ranged spike attack, which is doing a lot of damage. Look at Onzor's health just deplete like that. That's really important. And you can see the fades are going to be coming out very soon, I bet, as well. So you've got Llama extremely low health with that shotgun flying at him, and that's the reason the biomass is important. He gets away with 1% HP. He certainly wouldn't have done without the biomass, so that's really helped him out there, keeping that lurker life even up to the 8.5-minute mark where he got that weapons 2 almost finished. A little bit of a base push. Highball seems to have defended it with the mines. IP went down to 33% HP. Good option for the aliens to go for the base push. It's always a good choice. Even if you don't do anything significant, forcing the Marines to actually defend it is pretty valuable in itself. You've got Nate and Llama. Double load play with a replacement tunnel in observation on top of the harvester. Wob with the shotgun, Malga with the rifle, and no aliens aggressively in that northern position. Maybe looking to get one of them through hub, but he will struggle on his own. Here comes the fades. We've got Wee on the fade and Tane. Double lurk, double fade. This is going to become very difficult for the Marines, but they do have the upgrades in place to take these guys on and start winning combat and clearing these guys. That's a really strange decision. Upgrade fade has started. So just in case you guys weren't sure, the upgrade fade is slightly cheaper. Usually it's the least favourite upgrade to get because it doesn't provide any significant advantages by unlocking. Tane is so lucky he got away there. And both of them are pretty lucky, but Tane with 1% HP, again that biomass saving his life. That's incredible. That's really lucky. Just to speak to the fade upgrade, that's going to provide them with Shadow Step with the 2 biomass. And it's going to be, I think it's Vortex at 5, but they did swap it round. I can't remember what they swapped it though. They go for the lurk upgrade as well, so they're going to need a second hive to take advantage of that lurk upgrade. So that is their next play, is to get the hive in either repair room or elevator transfer. So they're going to be using their phase to clear one of these rooms, set up a gorge in there with a drifter, and build that hive nice and quick so they can get the Umber involved as soon as possible. Weapons 3 has started though, so this is going to be a pretty pivotal section of the game where the aliens are looking to get the hive up and the Marines are looking to hold on until they can get the weapons 3 and start changing the game, and that's one aspect of it, is clearing the life forms. Lurk goes down to repair him, solo defending repair him, very strange call. Looks like it was Llama who went down in there. Here comes Wee, the shotgunner behind his B1 there, who's taking a lot of damage. Really nice job from the phase, coming straight on top of that shotgunner, taking him out, and now Onzer and B1 are dead, and repair room is clear. And it's exactly the way they wanted. They wanted to clear repair room, clear any of the reinforcements coming in, and drop the hive. They don't have the resources just yet, and they haven't quite secured hub, so they won't be dropping that hive within the next 10-20 seconds, I don't believe. But the lurk upgrade is done almost, so they do need to find a way to get access to that 4th biomass. Here comes Wee from hub, taking quite a lot of damage from the rifles and the pistols. And good job, spreading the fades out. Now, Tane is up here in the north. His job is to deal with recappers and then get inside of fights when it becomes urgent. So elevator transfer, he's been called to actually address elevator transfer with his teammate Wee. A shotgun or a rifle. Rifle does a significant amount of damage. Wee gets away with very low health. Tane has got plenty of health though and takes out B1 who had the shotgun. Onzo with the rifle won't be able to scare both of these guys off. And these fades actually do have Shadow Step at this point, which is a little bit helpful. I definitely don't rate it highly, and I don't think it's really valuable enough to actually buy. But it's once you've got it now, you're definitely going to use it, and it's all right. It's somewhat valuable. I still don't understand the fade upgrade, but sure, go ahead. Scan goes down into all processing to cover these guys' backs, whilst Nitsi moves into warehouse. Alcalde has called it though. He knows that guy's there. Nitsi is caught out. He's holding 3 guys in this position though by staying in this vent and trying to survive. Here comes Tane with the backup to deal with these guys when they reloaded this rifle. The cat pistol came out actually. Malga struggling right now and Wob on the reload. But Malga clears his teammate with that skulk on his back. B1 gets taken out, does a significant amount of damage with the rifle to Wee, and Tane isn't full health. Onzo with the shotgun, weapons 3. They have to be extremely careful at this point. The Hive is the next option. And they can only do that with the fades up. And if they lose the fades to a weapons 3 shotgunner, it's going to be a pretty bad news for them. 6 extractors for iMAGINE, so they're going to be looking at cat packs, weapons 3, and probably armor 2 pretty soon. That's definitely going to be the next choice, and very soon they can afford it. So perhaps phase gates, although I'm not convinced they need it with the cat packs because the cat packs provide mobility. Really good cleanup from the aliens. That was 2 fades, a skulk, and a lurk, taking out with a shotgunner really nice and early, and there was a rifleman as well there. And they probably won't be recovering those shotguns. Rifle shotgun team and elevator transfer as well. So they've got this kind of 2-2-1 split where they've got a rifle and a shotgun, rifle shotgun, and then a lone guy who's doing some recapping. For example, Alcalde up here is dealing with the extractor, maybe rebuilding it if it does get taken out. If he doesn't kill Llama quick enough, just about calls it. At this point, the aliens are holding off. They're trying to keep the Marines at bay until they can get that Onos out. And in fact, they haven't saved for the Onos because, of course, they went for that Gorge, double lurk, double fade. Tane 1v1 onto Alcalde. Nice little clean up there. He's the recapper, so it's going to make it much harder for the Marines to take more extractors, for example, or processing as well as defend repair him. So the lurk can, in fact, go on that. Tane on the warehouse. Yep, he's on top of the warehouse RT. Usually you don't really see the fades attacking buildings, but because it was already on 10% HP, pretty much a very good call to take that on. You can see how long it took though. I mean, that's the real big problem for fades at the moment. They're great in combat in terms of engagements, and now they really suck at building damage, and that's the point. They're balanced around that idea. Here comes Tane. He's going to get caught out. He's actually struggling to get in through that escape route. Malga positioning himself as far through as he could to make sure he could do as much damage as possible to Tane there. Not enough to finish him off, especially with that weapons 3 rifle. The rifle's not particularly not as good as the shotgun. Certainly not. You got Llama upgrading his skulk with the 2 fades and the lurk. This is a big play actually. Maybe they're going to go for elevator transfers and maybe secure that hive that they've been looking to get for about 5 minutes now. You can see they've even saved the T-res at this point. This is really going to be looking like a nice drop for a hive right now, potentially an elevator transfer. Still no phase gates. This is very late phase gates if they even unlock them. Really showing you the priorities of these top level players. They really just want to get their Marines as strong as possible and don't want to worry about phase gates. Alcalde is going to get caught out by Tane on the side. Really good from Tane catching him from behind. 2 swipes without taking any damage. And then the 3rd swipe he receives a little bit of damage but nothing significant, allowing him to come to hub, help his teammates out, and they can clear hub very easily now. Really good job from these guys. Repairing, we've got 2 guys, one with a shotgun, one with a rifle, but you've left the hub open, allowing 2 skulks and a lurk to get through and deal with the platform. Everything is changing in the aliens' favour. They've done a really good job with these fades. They haven't lost the fades, and they've won a lot of combat. Here comes Wob has actually got an enemy fade from behind there, so really good job from the fades working together. And wow, it really looks like iMAGINE should have gone phase tech a little bit earlier. Maybe before the cat packs. Because at this point they're struggling to recover a lot of these shotguns and to make strong pushes because it's taking too long when they're getting cleared up by the fades. Good teamwork taking out platform and warehouse from the 2 skulk lurk combination that has just essentially gone through this location and then back round to try and deal with as many extractors as possible. And there's the last extractor they were hunting down. Everything's looking bad for iMAGINE at this point. You can even see by the team kills. This is a really interesting set of graphs. So here the Marines are really rich. That's exactly what you can see here. Even the later stages of the game, they're very rich compared to the aliens. But the team kills are massively in the aliens' favour right now. The Fades are doing a phenomenal job, and the Marines are not clearing them up. You can see even in this engagement, even with Weapons 3, Shotgun, Rifle, they did not clear those Fades up. And if they can clear the Fades up, maybe they'll be alright to turn this game around, but at this point the aliens are doing very well, and they've got everything they need to turn this game into a victory. Malga and Onzor, double Shotgun defense, and he gets away with about 3% HP. That is unbelievable. He's stuck in the vent right now. Oh, he takes the risky move through hub and he calls it perfectly. He takes it just before these two guys came through and had line of sight to take that guy on. So he's going to get away and fully heal inside the hive now. Saunamen, though, they really, really want to get that second hive up. It's been a very long time they've had the lurk upgrade, but no full biomass to take advantage of it. We takes a huge amount of damage. You can see how close they are to death every time. The shotguns are doing a phenomenal job of taking damage onto the Fades, but they're not finishing them, and that's going to cause them problems in the long game. Still no Onos. Nitsi with 43 P-res, and a couple of other players with 40, which means they can certainly replace some of these Fades if they do lose them. Which is going to make it very difficult for the Marines to secure a victory here. Wob and Alcalde in defensive repair room, no power, a lot of life forms on top of them, flying around, very good job from them. And at this point, it looks like the aliens are actually happy not to take that second hive anytime soon. They're doing a good job of just taking kills. You can see there, the kills for the Marines are not going up significantly. The aliens are getting kills all over the place though, so really good from them. There's the shift. This is the first indication of a repair room hive. The shift is great with the gorge. They've got a gorge as well. So this is really looking like a repair room hive that they want to take. They do lose the lurk up in warehouse, who seem to be alone. Here comes the Phase to back up that assault. We versus Malga 1v1. He does need to be careful. Weapons 3 shotgun is a really big problem if you try and take it on for an extended engagement. Nitsi with the heals with the Fades. Oh, that was so close. We with that, 33% HP, and he's just about to take another shotgun blast. Nitsi's caught out here. Gorge gets taken out. He does have plenty of PRS to replace the Gorge, but you don't really want to be doing that too often. Especially when you might lose the Gorge after the hive's done and you maybe send him on a Fade. So you don't want to be wasting too much PRS for a Gorge. Looks like actually the repair room has been reconsidered for the Marines at this point. A very slow game now. Wob, Alcalde and Mulga with triple shotgun play. Tane takes a pretty good amount of damage, tries to retreat. And we as well. These guys have both been very low health on this engagement. Again, just getting out with very low HP, and if they can finally clear these phases, they may be in a better spot. Until that point, they're going to be really struggling for resources and map control. Is this a potential base push? You've got Nitsi taking the position, so he's got line of sight at the entrance, and then they're both going for the extractor. A very good call, because at this point the Marines still need a lot of money. The phase gate, the phase tech is still quite a hefty investment, and if they can take out extractors often, they're going to have a very hard time keeping the phase gates up. That's an unbelievable amount of extractors I've just seen they've taken out, and this is looking like a base push. We'll check this out. Nitsi and Llama, the skulks, they're worried about the mine. They've got a Fade and a skulk in addition. That mine was ridiculous. They shouldn't have taken that. It's hurt all of the 3 skulks significantly there. That mine was not dealt with well. They do sell the observatory or lose it. I'm not quite sure specifically what that is. We and Tane, unbelievable job from Malga, doing a huge amount of damage to We in that 2v1, and that's exactly where you have to be careful, even up against one shotgunner, because he can take you on and he can kill you. Really good job from Malga. It was kind of inevitable, of course. Eventually the Fades will go down when they take an engagement that they don't quite play extremely well in. They will go down. And we'll probably be seeing a Fade replacement, unless they're feeling like just going triples, maybe triple Onos, just at one stage of the game, just to secure the victory. Saunamen at this point could probably just unlock Onos upgrade and grab the Onos and make a huge push into server room. I think they've only really got mines in defense, and they would have a very hard time holding that. We and Tane trying to hold elevator transfer, so they've got the Gorge upgrade finally, so that's the Bile Bomb in play. It's going to make it easier to get rid of these shotguns. Tane trying to take on Alcalde. Alcalde actually finishes the skulk behind Tane, which is pretty valuable. 2v1 onto Wob. Wob's got the long range though. Nitz is going to get caught outside all processing. It looks like there's 2 skulks here that are just going to get hunted and taken out. Really nice. And a third one inside warehouse. 1v1 Malga with a rifle right now, and he's trying to take on Llama. Llama comes in. Good job from Malga taking off the last 40% HP very swiftly. So at this point, the Marines are actually taking a lot of map control back. They've won some good engagements there. They cleared one of those Fades, but the alien P-res is so staggeringly high that I think the Marines will probably struggle to hold that map control they've just taken. Malga, not really sure what he's up to here. Struggling with the finish. You got a single fade, double skulk. Alcalde gets the 2 skulks on top of him. Malga has to worry about the single fade. There come the skulks to try and help him out. Malga's doing very well in terms of aim, but it's not quite enough to clear that room. Onzer and B1 have cleared a crag. You can see it floundering around there. And you've got Wee coming onto the Harvester. The Bone Ball comes down to try and separate these guys, but it doesn't quite work. And it looks like Wee moves on to repair and to deal with the extractors. And that is a big problem. They've got to deal with the extractors, otherwise they're going to be seeing phase tech very soon. Still no Onos. We've got the 59p res on Nitzy, 55-55 on Llama and Nate. Scans are coming on to elevator transfer. Still haven't got the phase tech upgrade, which is a pretty cheap upgrade. It's only 10 resources. And I think it's staggering at this point. They don't even invest for the phase gates. I mean, I've said it many times today and yesterday. The phase gates aren't as good as the upgrades, but they've got the upgrades now. So the next step is the phase gates. And refusing that is very strange, and it could cost iMAGINE, although they are doing exceptionally well at this point with just the cap packs. You can see a cap pack picked up by Alcalde. He's doing a significant amount of damage and is able to kite the fade and even push him away. But they do have an Onos in tow there. They do need to be careful. There's the upgrade Onos started. That's going to provide him with charge, certainly until they get their second hive. He's only going to get access to charge. Great job from Onzer and B1 coming into the hive, but they do need to be careful because as soon as the Onos comes in and tries to back this defense up, they do have to retreat, and they actually retreat before that point. They have taken out logistics. Maybe they're looking to build logistics with the extractor. Alcalde and Malga with the rifles getting picked up by Tane. Actually, Alcalde with a shotgun. And they've got to worry at this point. They've got to get away from this Onos, and they have done a good job of doing that. So you've got a nice channel for the aliens to get through, essentially to that northern tunnel section where it's undefended. And they've done a great job of going straight through to those 2 extractors. Looks like Nate has spotted Wob, but he's not going for him. He's just going for the long-range fight. Elevator transfer has finally been claimed. That second hive has been a long time coming. The scam comes down, so they know all about it. But the Onos can just defend. And he's trying to invest, he's trying to commit to this fight. Big mistake, he takes a huge amount of damage. It's going to take a very long time for him to heal up. And he's going to have to retreat back around the corner to get full health, and that leaves the hive vulnerable. Nitzy made a big mistake trying to take that fight too early. If he goes in to save the hive's already maybe dead, and he might even lose his Onos. Really good job taking out the hive, and the Onos does need to be a little bit careful with the cap packs there. Good job from Nitzy. He does actually manage to clean these guys up, but he all saw the mistake he made there that cost him that hive, and now Malga's taking the 1v1. But Nitzy's got plenty of health to get away. Onzer and B1 have built up logistics. Still no phase tech, which is, I really think at this point they need to get the phase tech, because you can get a phase tech through to logistics, and that's going to make it so much easier to control these 2 areas of the map. You can see the radius around those phase gates would be really impressive, and then maybe you get one in hub as well. That's going to take everything you need. Extractor 2%. Just saved by Onzer and B1. Those guys do have welders, so they may choose to weld it up. Maybe even to full. We'll see how that goes. Alcalde and Malga holding elevator transfer, and it's too bad for the aliens that they lost that hive. I really think once they got that hive up, they would have been in a much better position. We've got the 2 Onos and Nate with 64 P-res. I wonder if they go triple Onos, because once the triple Onos is up, they may be able to just take the base, but they do have to worry because of the fact that they do have cap packs on weapons 3. And a decent amount of P-res as well. This is a tough one for the aliens, and they could lose the game very soon if they lose the Onos, because the Onos is their significant play. Really crazy job from Wee coming into 2 guys. He doesn't know about them, but he takes a huge amount of damage, and that's exactly when he knows about them. Here's the double Onos defense. You need to worry about B1 and Onzer. Both have been taken out. They still have no Gorge in play here. They've got 3 Onos and 2 Fades, which is a huge amount of damage. A lot of health. They lose the Harvester in elevator transfer. Here comes Tane from behind, taking on Malga 1v1. Fantastic job from Malga. It was about 2 massively important shotgun blasts to take out Tane on that fade. He will be rebuying that fade probably with the 49 P-res. But it's really important that these Marines start clearing some of these life forms. It has been very late. Finally, we're seeing the phase tech upgraded. They've got 30 T-res saved, so it could be looking at the first couple of phase gates from base to hub, perhaps. It's too bad they didn't have one at logistics, although with the Onos up, they would have had it very difficult to hold that. B1 and Onzor, they're trying to take observation. Now, it's going to be tough with an Onos on each side, a couple of Fades flying around, but they've got teammates coming in. This fight's going to be really hard to hold for the aliens. B1 chasing the Onos that was low health. He's got about 2% HP, and he does just about get away. Alcalde and Malga, they've really invested for that fight, the Marines, and they haven't pulled off exactly what they wanted. They almost took out an Onos, and even that wouldn't have been enough. And at this point, they just lost a lot of shotguns, but they still got a lot of money, so it's not over, definitely not. Looks like this arc is extremely vulnerable. The Onos will probably deal with that pretty quickly. In fact, they're doing 10% per hit, so that's very significant. Armor 3 has started. Now, that's not necessarily a game changer, but it's nice that they're investing in these upgrades. That should help a little bit. There's the cap packs for 2 of those guys to come through and do a significant amount of damage. You can see that Tane and Wee hiding here, and they come in from behind, and the Onos is caught out. The Doth Onos are caught out, actually. They're doing a significant amount of damage. Nitsi there, you can see his health is extremely low. He is just around to the corner. Alcalde's chasing, really good job of him, and that's the cap packs. The cap packs give them the speed, and they got so much damage on top of this Onos. Nate's very high health, but they've got to worry about these fades as well. Alcalde alone there. Good job clearing one of those Onos, but they lost a lot of money and resources in that fight, and I think maybe that wasn't worth it. We'll see how it goes, but that's a tough fight. Llama soloing and repairing. He's just taking out some of these extractors. Oh wow, fantastic job. I'm not sure why Tane was there. I really don't know why Tane was up there alone. But these guys do take him on. They've scanned it, Nate and Wee. I really think these guys are going for that second hive and elevator, and they were trying to use the Onos to hold it. Now I think that's maybe a little bit silly, because they do need to start using a bit more aggression to clear the extractors. The thing keeping the Marines in the game right now is the huge amount of money they have. Solo Onos inside hub. As soon as that second hive comes up and they invest the biomass to get the 6 biomass, these aliens are going to be significantly stronger. Bone Shield, Umbra, and whatever the hell the Fade gets at the 5 biomass. I'm not sure which one it is. That's a big increase, and they'll probably invest in the Skulk upgrade just afterwards as well, just to help out a little bit. So at this point we've got a lot of Marine aggression. 3 guys here, 1 guy here is about to get taken out by the Fade, and a lot of alien aggression. So you've got a lot of guys up here. It looks like actually the Marines survived that. Alcalde is scaring Wee off. But overall, everything's kind of spread out. You've got some fights up here, you've got 2 guys capping, you've got some stuff going on here. So the map is still wide open for both teams. Still no phase gates have been dropped, and that's maybe costing them repairment or processing. You can see those have been taken out, and they're not going to be recovered anytime soon. There's the Armor 3. Now, the Onos hits hard. The Armor 3 maybe gives you an extra survive hit, which may be the difference between killing the Onos or him getting away, having killed you. So that could be a big factor at this point. Hub is wide open. Hub is wide open with cap packs, so maybe they're looking to I'm not sure what the cap packs are about. They're not even in position to be picked up, so Alcalde's just had to rush over and grab one. B1 does not, though. Good job from those guys clearing up the Skulk and actually opening up repair room. Harvester has the potential to be taken out very quickly. Look at the weapons 3 damage. Look at that. They can take that out in 2 clips each. That's really impressive. Double Onos taking out the extractor and elevator transfer. So you can see that they're swapping. I mean, they're each sacrificing a capping resource to each other, which is definitely affordable. Malgal's got a really nice position. It's extremely hard for the Onos to kind of chase uphill and try and get on top of him. Malgal maybe could have sort of like hidden up on the crates and made it very hard for them to chase him. Those 2 guys can repair him now. They push straight into logistics, and this is something the aliens can't afford. They can't afford to just lose all their harvesters at this point. They do need to respond to this aggression, especially with the weapons 3 ripping through the buildings so quickly. Alcalde and B1 up against Wee. No flank from behind, so they should be fine to get away, especially once they see that, drop the med packs and even cap packs if necessary. So they're not at all worried, and that's probably one of the reasons we're not seeing the phase gates, is that they can invest T-Race into the cap packs to make them a lot stronger and provide them with the ability to actually kill Llama here. I mean, there's the cap pack, and it's looking bad for B1 because he's going to get ganked from behind. I mean, I'm trying to defend the phase gate, the lack of the phase gate to be precise. I really think it's got to the stage where they have to have at least tried it. I really think a hub phase gate would make a big difference to how much potential the Marines have on the map control. I really think a hub phase gate would be a really good play right now. They are finally building one up in base, so maybe we're going to be seeing that. The Skulk upgrade is being completed, so the aliens really have plateaued at this point. They're just buying everything they can. Because they literally have just got more resources than they can spend because they haven't got the rooms. They're finally clearing out elevator transfer for another time to drop a hive. This could be the time that they try and drop it, although they don't have the resources for it just yet. Good job from the Marines though. They got the speed, they got the damage, they can scare those Onos off. Again, another stalemate, and repair room is kind of the no man's land. The phase gate or hub would change that completely, but they're taking their time. Nate, they've got the bone wall to defend these guys from behind if they need to. And again, look at the upgrades. All 5 of them have been complete. Triple biomass done. 3 shells. As soon as they get their next hive up, they've got the potential to become so extraordinarily strong. And I don't know how the Marines have managed it, but they've completely denied this second hive. Finally, we're seeing the Onos be a lot more aggressive. These are actually haven't been up in North Tunnels yet, I don't believe. The Fade coming in early to try and take on Alcalde, who was building and he's only got a rifle, so no significant damage there. This could be a base push and probably a forced beacon. They have a commander, they've got a few mines which aren't particularly a problem. They're going for the arms lab, the beacon is forced, really nice, and that's one reason you've got to get the phase gates, because now they've got to run. They've got to run to find positioning on the map and try and hold this stuff, and it's going to be very difficult for them to hold aggressive plays when the beacon is being forced that easily. Good job for the Marines to rush straight through the hub and try and cut those guys off in this North Tunnel section, but unfortunately just as they got to the section they could start doing damage, the Onos were already through. They couldn't cut them off at that section, so they managed to get through to the hive, and I'm sure the Marines were wishing they could have gotten there a little bit earlier. We with a 1v1. You can look at that rifle damage. I mean, the Fade almost goes down to a 1v1 up against the Rifle Weapons 3, so you really do have to be careful, even up against the rifles. The phase gate, of course, is now complete. You've got the Onos and the Fade coming in for this combat. Fade's extremely low. We just about escapes there with very low health, but Llama's he's actually committed to this fight. He's got another Onos backing him up. Onzo with a 2v1, 3v1, there's no way he can take this. You can see him being chased right now, even my camera's chasing him. He's got a lot of players to deal with. And are we going to be seeing the Hive and repair room? Could be the case, could not be the case, depends. Here comes Malgo B1 and Alcalde to cut these guys off. The scan goes down to make sure that they know what fight they're going into, and maybe they call it actually there's 2 minutes to take on. Malgo, Alcalde and B1 full back, and Wob in top of repair room. They're trying to cut them off and trying to make it hard for them. There's the hub phase gate, and you can see already the impact it's having, providing them the opportunity to push into the logistics repair room corridor to try and cut these guys off. The scans are going down, it's quite expensive, but they can afford it to make sure they know exactly where these guys are. But good job from Tane and Nitsi to take on Extractor there. One is replaced though in elevator transfer, because they'll probably get that built unless Wee goes for it. If he goes round, they might be alright to clear that Extractor, but it might not be the case. They still haven't dropped the Hive. Do have the money, so this is the next play. They really want the Hive, and that's crazy. The Onus is already extremely low. The Fade comes in. We with very low health. B1 is actually overextended a little bit. Gets caught on the bone wall. A really good bone wall. That's just shotgun down. But these two guys are in a good position. They've got a good amount of health, and they've got cap packs to make it even harder for the aliens to kill them. A recap and elevator transfer and some aggression on observation. But at the same time, we're seeing aggression in all processing and warehouse, and the infestation is spreading as well. Good job from the shotgunners actually pushing into all processing to try and counter the lurk. Now the lurk is obviously a big investment early on, and at this point it's kind of very, very cheap. Obviously the lurk there to try and support with Umbra. Umbra's not quite available yet. Finally the second attempt at the second Hive, to be precise, has been dropped, and they've got a lot more invested into controlling the room now. So they've got the Onos, the Fade, and the lurk, who've actually maybe overextended from repair. But that's not quite true, because they got the Onos in the secondary entrance here. So good job having Llama in position there. I suspect at this point they're going to do everything they can to hold repair room whilst not losing too much of the rest of the map. You can see they've lost observation already, and because of the fact that they tried to get the Hive up. But the Hive is probably at this point way more valuable than the extra Harvester. There's Nate, but this is a really bad room for him. He's got to run all the way around, and as soon as he does, these guys drop off and make it very difficult for the Onos to get any kills there. Hive's on 30% grown. You've got B1 in the vent. Good job from Nitsi exactly behind him. It takes about 5 bites maybe to clear him, but he does pull off those bites, so good job from him. Tane 1v1 up against Malga. Malga, really good job with the rifle actually clearing him. Here comes Wee though to support. A little bit late obviously, but he does clear up that guy. Here comes an Arc. I missed that play. I think actually the Arc upgrade was performed much earlier. And they're finally pushing another set out. Check out the P-res for the aliens. They got 2 Onos with 30 P-res. Now that's a big deal, because even if they lose the Onos, they've got a lot of Fades to replace. Yet they don't have anyone with a significant amount of P-res. So if they do lose the Onos, they won't have the Onos available. And that could be the reason they maybe lose the Hive in repair room. But at this point, they're looking pretty strong. The Arcs are coming in to try and deal with repair room. Maybe arcing it from this location here. Arc is returned, of course, because it has no defense. As soon as this Hive is done, though, they're going to invest as much T-res as they can into biomass to make the Onos, Lurk, Skulk, all of it way stronger. And at that point of the game, I really think the Marines will have a very hard time holding on. Good job from Saunamen, clearing another Marine recapper up in the north and allowing them to take out a warehouse. And at this point, it's looking pretty bad for the Marines. They're kind of playing defensively and slow paced. They're relying on the phase gate a little bit more than they should. Kind of getting trapped in this room through necessity of having to defend that thing. And they're not going into repair room to take on these Onos. And once the hive is built, it provides much more healing and is much easier to defend. So the point at which you want to push it is probably as soon as possible. Alert goes down. Now, I don't think that's too significant. We'll see how it goes overall. Llama has been pseudo-scanned, so they see his position and they hear him as well, so they know where he is. Alcalde here, trying to take a fade on 1v1. Whilst his teammates come in, repair room has been finished, and at this point they've got 4 biomass. Immediately, they've got Leap, Umbra, and they're in a position to take Bone Shield. And that's pretty much it. But that's looking good for them. Arc onto wall processing. Harvest is taking a lot of damage. Probably will go down, but that was quite an unnecessary harvester. Nice job actually, getting a lot of arcs. You got 1 onto wall processing, 1 onto south tunnels perhaps, and maybe hopefully take on these. Maybe they're hoping to take on the shells, and they are in one spot. So that would be a nice smart play. Looks like the Arc will be taken down. It has been undeployed, providing it with a bit more armor. And here come 3 shotgun Marines, maybe to catch these guys out. If they can get the cap packs and get on top of these Onos, they can do a significant amount of damage. Nate with very low health, and they are chasing him into the hive room. This could be a bad play for the Marines, though. Good job taking out the Skulk, which was going to do significant damage. Llama tries to turn around. Both Onos and the Fade caught inside the hive room right now, and this is a good room for them to fight in, but they're already low HP. Wob and Alcalde separated from the other 2 Marines. You can see here now they're fighting up against these guys, and they probably go down, because actually they've got a Skulk and a Fade they're not dealing with properly. 2 guys trying to chase straight through. And they're actually trying to deal with Nate. Really job from Malga. Fantastic positioning. They called it perfectly. Onza and B1 push to the hive. Malga controls the other exit. And they lose the phase gate, but they take out an Ono. So that's definitely affordable, definitely valuable. Malga, really good job. Almost killing Nitsi. Nearly finishes him. Doesn't quite take him. Providing him with the opportunity to take out the observatory there. There was previously scanning them. Onza and B1 getting chased by an Onos at this point. They do need cat packs, significant amount of cat packs to save them. Actually a bad position for Llama. He's got to charge straight through, and here comes the Skulk to try and help him out. Really good job from these guys, and a Bone Wall comes down, shoving B1 into it. Taking away all his velocity. Onza, Alcalde and Wob right now, they have resecured hub. You've only got 1 Skulk in position there. They've taken out an Onos, but the hive is up. They've got a lot of upgrades. The triple spur is going to be done soon, and then it's going to be biomass, and that's going to be a bad news for the Marines. Here's the Arc, and you can see it's actually going straight onto this harvester here. It won't really be able to hit any of this stuff here, which is really, really valuable. But they do have the shift there just in case. But I don't think they'll be able to hit it. You got Wob, Rifle, Solo up against Wee here. I don't think you'll be able to take him on, even though he might get a cap pack, maybe gets a couple of med packs. It's going to be still a significantly difficult fight to him to try and take him on. At this point, the aliens have kind of taken this amount of the map because of that hive, and that's a really significant amount of the map, and it's going to make it very difficult for the Marines to try and recover and start being aggressive. They're going to start losing map control, I think. They'll start running out of money. At this point, they're all kind of in the similar location, all similarly around that phase gate. 1 guy, B1, up in ore processing. They do need to concentrate on ore processing because that's a free harvester they could take out and replace with an extractor. Here comes the hub push though. Umbra is all over the place. Now that Umbra is the 4 biomass upgrade, which provides these guys with a huge shield that makes them so much harder to kill. Llama is actually invested in this fight. He's in a really bad position. He's got the long range damage to worry out. B1 with the cap pack. Llama's taking huge damage. Unbelievable. He gets around the corner with about 1% HP. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Onza was actually in position to deal with that, and he doesn't. And here comes Wee with the Fade Egg. Or something. Unbelievable they managed to keep that Onos. Lurk goes down in 2 shots. Now that's expected. I can't believe how lucky they were with that Onos. Wob's trying to come in here to finish him off. Not going to happen though, of course, because he's got a Gorge and a Hive taking his life back up to full. Triple Marine Plate into the Hive and repair him. Now, if they can take this out, they can turn this game back around. And I really think if they can kill the Hive, that's going to put them in an advantage position, considering they don't have a replacement Onos, and they've only got one at this point. But the Umbra is extremely powerful, and you can see the impact it's having. It's making it extremely hard even to kill that Skulk there. Really good job from Alcalde. Nice shot. Wee's taking a lot of damage. Nate's almost run out of energy, so we won't be able to Umbra anytime soon again. Alcalde's really secured his position there. Wobby1 and Onzor catching Llama out here, and he's going to get chased. I really think they're going to have a hard time cutting him off with the fade in position. Actually, no, they should be able to get into position. The Onos is dead. There's no way they're going to be able to help that Onos. Good job from the aliens actually responding to that. Really good job. All of them in position. He's solo health, the Umbra, and they might chase him into the Hive room. Unbelievable. Even Hive agreed with me that he was going to die, but he just manages to sneak through this large section of the map without taking any significant damage. Really good response from the aliens to just invest massively into that. That really would have been a crucial kill. And I really thought that Onos was going down. That was crazy. That was a tense moment. I bet those aliens were panicking then. Good job from the Ark doing a significant amount of damage whilst that play was going on. Leaving the Hive with about 70% HP when it hits in the next blast. Really good job to actually have that going on at the same time. Malga here. 1v1. He's getting med packs. Probably cat packs as well. So with the balance mod, it appears that these games are going on much longer. Now, I'm not sure if that's because the game is more balanced or because both teams have been kind of weakened to a point that they're struggling to actually take a win. It's maybe that just depends on your perspective, but at this point, it's really getting to the stage where it's very, very late game, 42 minutes, and we haven't seen games like these in a while. The Marines are really struggling to finish these life forms. Now with the 6 biomass is going to be done soon. Bone Shield on the Onos, you've got Leap, you'll have everything all like that. You'll have none of the Xenocidal stuff, but that'll be the 3rd Hive that they might try and get in Elevator Transfer or a Warehouse perhaps. But even with the 2nd Hive fully upgraded, that provides them with a lot of utility. Onos again caught out, but not enough Marines to maybe to kill him. We flies through, but has plenty of HP. A quick analysis of the map, and you can see at this point the Marines are a lot more defensive. You've got this kind of situation going on where they're sort of in here and a little bit of a stuff going on in Elevator Transfer. Nothing significant there. Just kind of recapping and dealing with Harvesters. The aliens have a decent amount of P-Res saved. Some of them not quite so much, but some of them do have a good amount of P-Res. They got 2 Harvesters built and a +2 coming along, and maybe even +3 if they want to take Warehouse, depending on how this combat goes. Nitsi just about gets away through the vent. And again, another stalemate where the aliens this time have 2 Hives, triple spur, triple shell, all of the life form upgrades, and 6 biomass provides them with so much power. So this time we'll probably be seeing the aliens get ahead because they managed to stalemate for so long with only 1 Hive. The fact that they've now got 2 provides them with a pretty significant boost, I have to say. Here comes Nate with the Umbra on top of the Onos, who's in a really bad position. They're completely caught out, and they do need to drop a lot of cat packs and med packs, but they are going to take Llama out if they can just get a little bit more damage. B1 almost finishes him. Really nice job focusing him just enough to take him out, and it was so close they almost didn't. He was actually stuck in that bone wall. I wonder if it was maybe more harmful than helpful. Really good job from those guys actually catching that Onos out in the wrong position on observation. You've got Onzor up in all processing, dealing with this Harvester. He's going to try and weld up the power node. What at the power node to replace the All Processing Extractor, and I wonder what Nitzi's trying to do. He's sitting on the roof here, or on a column. I really wonder what he's trying to do here. Good job from Wee, taking on the 1v1. He's actually taking a lot of damage, but he's got the Hive just next to him, so again, he could just heal up at that Hive, which is an advantage they did not have previously, so it's going to make it a lot easier for the aliens to deal with All Processing. And it's spreading the Marines thin. You can see right now they got 1 guy trying to defend Elevator Transfer. Really good job killing another fade there. That was Wee, so that was probably All Processing. Maybe a hub. Can't quite tell. Oh well. Inevitable I was going to miss a fade kill eventually. In this ridiculously 45-minute game. You've got Alcalde and B1 on top of the Harvester in logistics. I mean, the Lurk's doing the long range ranged spike damage. He's also got the Umbra available, which should reduce damage to buildings as well, I do believe. There's the Umbra on top of the double Skulk play, Nitsi and Tane. And then here comes Wee with another fade. So again, as I've mentioned a lot, they've got plenty of P-res to replace these fades, so even despite the fact that it's really good, you kill a fade, it's not enough yet at this point, because the game is so late. 56 P-res on Llama, so even despite the fact that they got the 2 hives and a lot of upgrades, a lot more strength, they ran out of Onos. And maybe when we see some more of these Onos, it'll turn around, but actually it's looking like really bad for the aliens. They've got 1 Ono soon, and the rest of the players nowhere near, so... everything's looking good for the Marines now. This is looking like a Marine win overall, due to the fact that they've cleared those Onos, and maybe even quite a lot of those fades as well. So really good job clearing these life forms, finally. Onzor welling up or processing, got a little bit of a 1v1 to worry about. That guy's going to hub, where he's got plenty of Marines to already deal with. Good job arcing again, just one arc, they've already got the arc factory in base, just build an arc, send it to shipping and force quite a big engagement actually, that they're actually winning in this location. Peach him with the Gorge Bile Bomb, he's not actually doing much there, missing a couple of those shots and taking quite a lot of damage. He's got the Umbra on top of him though, which makes him very difficult to kill with the heal wave. At this point, the Marines have got a lot of P-res, so they can afford to do these kinds of pushes, even if they lose a shotgun, for example, here in observation with the 1v1 up on we. A lot of med packs, though. Maybe they should be getting Nano Shield, in fact, because Cat Pack and Nano Shield works together, they stack together, and makes you very unkillable. Really good job from this arc. It's doing such a tremendous amount of damage, even though they have a Crag healing this Harvester. It's really taking its time, actually. The Hive is... no, it's just the Crag, but it's getting healed quite a lot. You can see right now, this arc was not micromanaged properly. It's just sitting in the middle of a repair room. There's no way they'll be able to defend that. And you can see they've even dropped a Lurk Egg. So they're dropping Lurk Eggs to try and support the alien team with the Umbra without spending P-res. Jeez, I wonder what if this game will ever end. At this stage, the Marines, they maybe need to focus on the arcs a little bit more and start harassing shipping even more, force the engagement, and then clear. Because at this point, they've got everything they need to win. They've got, they've got the life forms down, and they've got the weapons 3. So if they can force engagements with arcs involved, I think that would be very good. Malga versus Llama, nice one to clear him. 1v1 onto the Fade Wob. Can he stand the test of time? All he's got to do is stay alive a little bit longer and do some damage. He doesn't actually do any damage, so... And the Commander's medpacking is a little bit off there, but I suppose that's inevitable at this later stage of the game, as everyone sort of tires out. Llama with the Onos. Finally we're seeing another Onos. I believe this is maybe the 4th or 5th one of the game. They have scanned it, so they know there's something in this egg. They don't know specifically what. And they'll see right now when the Onos pops out. Rinnas positioning from B1. He can't get round. He has to use the stairs, I believe. Peacham's going to get caught out here. That's the Gorge taking huge shotgun blasts. And now Llama is surrounded. The Bone Shield will be unable to assist him, but he's getting high appeal. He's got Umbra, he's got a Crag, he's got everything he needs to survive for an extended period of time. And now Onzor, Al-Qalde, and B want to force to retreat. Onzor a little bit later than the rest, and he will get taken out, leaving the shotgun in the middle of the room there. They've still only got 1 arc in here, despite the fact they've got another one in hub doing nothing. Good job from Al-Qalde and B1 doing a significant amount of damage to the Onos, and the rest of the stuff is low on energy. They do clear one of the Skulks, and Nitsi is low on energy, so we won't be able to leap out of there. And maybe they can use that momentum to push in, or maybe just... maybe get a couple more arcs. They've got one sitting there in hub. They are finally using that arc in hub. I wonder if it'll be for old processing. Got Malga 1v1 up against Weeby. Takes a nice initial shot. Pistol comes out, but not enough to finish him. They are actually investing in Max. Now Max provides you with welding on top of teammates, so you can weld up your units a lot quicker. They can also build for you, so if you want the recapping done, but you don't want to invest a human being to do it, you can send a Max to do it. It's a lot slower, but it means you don't have to invest your time into that. Shade was attempted, and it's taking a long time to kill that, considering the fact that they got weapons 3. Finally it's gone down. You can see right now Malga, he's got a shotgun. Really fantastic shot onto that Fade, and if I'm looking at the P-res right now to see if the aliens can recover from that, because they've lost so many life forms. Even in this long game, you can't afford to lose too many life forms. 47 P-res for Nate, 34, 25, 34 and the Onos. So it's not too bad, but I think this is the time where the Marines are strongest, and they're going for an engagement. If they can clear We here, or keep Llama out of the fight, and I'm going to sneeze any time now. Onzor, Malga, Wob and Al-Qalde They just got to get cat packs and med packs and take out the Onos. Really good job. And this is looking like an opportunity for the Marines to finally clear this second hive. Due to the fact that they've really run out of life forms. They've cleared all the Fades. They've only got Skulks and Lurks. And the aliens were a little bit too passive. They tried to hold on for too long. They didn't do any significant damage. And eventually they lost because of the smaller engagements and the flanking style behavior. They lost those life forms, and now they're left with pretty much nothing. The hive is going down. It takes a lot of time, even with the weapons 3, because of the Umbra. You can see another Umbra is coming in. You've got Llama and Wee trying to take out Malga. Malga's very low. He doesn't actually get taken out just yet. One bite and he's almost taken out. He's got a lot of med packs though. Here comes Nate. He's running out of energy, so he won't be able to Umbra. The hive is a target at this point. Here comes the Mac to weld these guys up, and it really looks like good game at this point. Repair him is really low on health. Nate is not even attacking, so he's just using the Umbra ability. The respawn waves are coming in. They're dropping eggs, but it's not enough to clear these guys out. And Nate has 52 P-res. Nitsi has 39 on 2 players, Tane and Nitsi, but without the Onos, I really think the Marines are going to take this right now. Really good job clearing. They did a fantastic job. Not a single slip up in that combat. They cleared every single alien they could have done, and that was supremely good, and they really earned that hive kill. So at this stage, it's looking very good for the Marines, and the aliens have lost a lot of biomass, which means unless the upgrade is already received, for example, the Lurk is already alive with Umbra, so he still has Umbra. All the new Lurks, though, will not get that Umbra. Same with Leap, and all the Onos stuff won't be available, apart from Charge when they get that Onos back, which will take a reasonable amount of time. You got Nate here's the highest. With 55 P-res. This is going for a base push. Nice one. That's a really good call at this point. I don't think they'll pull off quite what they want, and a really good mine, because they haven't base pushed enough at all, so they've really gotten cleaned up by that mine. They beaconed unnecessarily. It was just a lurk. They only had about 20% HP. I wonder if at this point the Marines are all just going to pick up shotguns after that and just go straight for the hive or something. I really think they could clear the enemy hive at this point. They know that they don't have any significant life forms, and they almost got an Onos, so it's probably best to just push now. I guess they don't know the P-res, but it's really something you got to think about. Onzor looking to take repair him back. He's got to worry about these skulks who do have leap. Oh, fantastic shot from Onzor. Nice little turn. B1 is finally in the hive. Now they do need to scan because they can't actually see anything. Actually, that was a slight advantage. The fact that there was nothing in there that they could see was apart from the lurk, meant that they could actually pick that lurk out of the room very easily. There was no camouflage, nothing to hide him or conceal him. Malga, B1 and Wob scan the room. Now they're close to take the hive. All they've got to do is clear the skulks and hold the back of the room and do significant damage to all of the stuff that's expensive and valuable. We're still off of that Onos by 2 P-res with only 2 harvesters, so it's going to take maybe about 60 seconds for the Onos to appear, and that could be just the amount of time the Marines need to take this win. It's taken a very long amount of time, and some of these graphs are probably going to be very interesting, so we'll have to take a look at those. But you can see right now the Marines have everything they need to win. They just got to keep clearing eggs, keep scanning, keep dropping med packs, get a Mac in here to weld up, have a guy weld. Dropping ammo would be good. Cat packs, of course, as well. So you've got Tane on this fade, and Nate's almost at the Onos. Really good job from Llama, sneaking around the side and clearing one of those Marines. The Bone Wall, not quite as effective as it could have been, but it's doing a pretty good job of separating these guys. You've got 2 shotgunners left. Wob and Malga, they're doing a very good job of clearing these guys. The respawn wave will come straight through the phase gate hub and push straight through into shipping, so we'll see that happen soon enough. And Tane is taking too long, of course. If you've got to clear these guys up, you've got to do it quickly because of that phase gate. You can see the reinforcements are almost in position now. Wob and Malga, backed up by B1, Alcalde and Onzor, who are getting cat packs to get them in position sooner. And this is looking like good game. Everything the aliens had is on the floor of this room, with the hive on 45% HP. Once the fade goes down in the next couple of blasts, this is going to be a much over game. And it's taken a very long amount of time, but it's been a pretty good game. You can see Tane here is just flying around. He's not doing anything significant. The hive is the target from some of these players. It's dead in about 3 or 4 shots. Really good job from these guys. Couple more shots and it's dead. Very nice job from iMAGINE. You can see the team resource towers there. Oh, it's gone. Oh, jeez. Let's see if I can get a quick look at that. No, it's gone. Damn, that was a long game. Jeez. Pushing my limits there. That's a lot of chat as well I've got to catch up on. That was a really long game. What was that, 56 minutes? It's going to take a while to upload to YouTube, I'm sure. Yeah, that was a good game overall. Oh, I've got to do stuff. Man, that was long. Whatever. You guys get to miss out on the intro, which is good for you. Yeah, that's 55 minutes of talking. I've got to go to bed soon. No, I'm alright. I'm alright. Jeez, that was long. So this is something that I've been noticing is these games are a lot long, or at least have the potential to be a lot longer with the balance mod. That one was a 55-minute game. On Fire versus Raze yesterday. We had a very long game that was very back and forth, and On Fire lost it despite the fact that they had such huge advantages early on. And I think that's good. I think that's really good because it means that. Well, it's hard to say for sure because there could be two sides to it. It's the potential that either both teams have been weakened to the point where neither of them can win, or it could be the fact that both sides of the game are so balanced that teams this evenly matched struggle to actually take a win. Now, the Dota style games deal with that by making snowballing a drastically bigger thing. So you once you start winning, you start winning. That's what the Dota style games do to try and sort of avoid the longer games where your stronger player becomes extremely strong, essentially becomes unstoppable, and that's not something we really have in NS2. Things kind of plateau a little bit, so the weapons 3, you don't get a weapons 4, and certainly if there's weapons 4, you would be seeing the Reigns win that earlier. Or for example, the second hive earlier on, if they could have secured that at about the 16-minute mark when they had the lurk upgrade and they had a lot of money and they had everything they needed. We saw that first Onos, and I think it was Nitsi, inside elevator transfer where he made the play, he pushed forward, took a lot of damage and essentially lost his position, his defensive position on the hive. The Gorge had to retreat from the hive. It was all very messy. They lost that first hive they had in elevator transfer, and I really think that second hive that was earlier could have made a significant difference, but it's hard to know for sure. Overall, the game was very back and forth. No one stood out significantly there. Both teams had the potential to win. And it's games like that that are very difficult to follow because it's just so much going on. Okay. Good. I'm gonna chill out. And we'll be back with this game shortly, so I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Nice one. Alright, we're going into round 3 and 4. Saunamen versus iMAGINE. Both of them have a round at this point. What the hell? Why didn't it start? Maybe the commander got out of the chair. Something like that. Okay, no, yeah, that was it. The commander got out of the chair, so it didn't start. We're going live right now, or maybe a restart just to make sure everything's fine. No, it looks like they're good to go. A 3-2 split for the aliens and a 3-2 split for the marines. Nothing in base to build. Tane comes back. Just swap sides. I dislike seeing the people hesitate and swap at the start. It indicates that they are not quite sure what they're going to be doing, which is never a good sign. Let me just double check got everything going properly. Yep, everything looks good. So we've got Comp Lab building and Crevice building as well. So that's a pretty confident play. Sometimes you don't see them actually build the building. You just sort of have it there until the first engagement is secured. Potential for a base push is minimal. You've got Malga there with Peachum in the command chair. No mines just yet. The mines upgrade is completing at this point. Marines done a very good job actually. Malga solo offense. Maybe he can deal with some of the expensive stuff in this base. Maybe he's actually going for the comm chair. The rest of the map is looking good for the aliens right now. They may be being pushed a little bit more than they'd like, but that's a nice, decent amount of harassment. Look at that, 50%. He's still not out of the chair. The Marine commander is being a pussy right now. He needs to get out and deal with his skulk. His IP is going down, and he's ignoring it. His IP is down. This is looking like a really quick game for iMAGINE right now. I can't believe Malga has soloed in the Infantry Portal, and Peachum refused to try and deal with that. There it is. He finally wants to take it. Clearly he didn't want to take a 1v1. Now maybe that's a smart play if you're not feeling particularly confident with your aim or whatever, go for it. They're the mines. IP is coming down, but it's so late now. Look at that. Look, this is the important part. No IPs, 4 Marines dead. Even if they secure the IP and start pushing again, everything has been so delayed, except that's not quite true because they got loads of extractors up. So overall, this has been pretty balanced. So they should have gone for the extractors straight away. Once you have a push like that and it looks like you're not maybe going to win the game straight away, just go for the extractors. Start killing 2 or 3 of them, and that'll be pretty good for you. Do I say significant that often? It's an important word, right? Because some things just happen, some things kind of matter, and then there's things that are actually significant, like someone dies, it's not necessarily significant. That's the point. I think I just fell for some trolling. Malga trying to take 2 guys here. He's going to get taken out. Nice one from Nate and Llama. Oh my gosh, my voice. Ancestral running about Comp Lab, and you've got Wob here as well up against Wee and Crossroads. Nice drop attack. Finishes him with the second bite, which almost wasn't quite secured. Crag, nice one. Crag and Ventilation should slow down the offensive play from Nate and Llama and help Onzor to win the combat. Oh wow, he's taken on almost immediately. Damn, that was good. Nate there securing 2 kills with the support of Llama, and now those guys are axing the Crag. You usually don't see them axe stuff because it takes a little bit longer and they can afford to just drop an ammo pack. Good job from Ancestral staying on the extractor, and then he goes for the kill and fails, and the extractor is left with about 5% HP. That's 2 bites. I really think going for the bites would have been a simpler and better solution, but that's up to him. That's mental. Upgrading in the middle of the corridor. Good job with the enzyme. Nice early enzyme with the 3 skulks, and they clear those guys up without taking any significant damage, apart from the fact that they just lost a Crag infestation, and they're not quite cysting that up properly because now they're losing cysts, and they might even lose the Harvester. Alcalde and Onzor taking on the extractor in Saunamen's sub-access room. The real problem for iMAGINE right now is they're running out of Harvesters. This one they've got... Oh, they just lost it. iMAGINE is so far behind at this point. They somehow got lurks up at this stage of the game. I don't know how they've managed that. But Saunamen have a... Well, they should have a lot of money because they've had so many extractors, except they've replaced a lot of RTs. They've replaced with 2 IPs. An arms lab's not even built. I don't know what that's about. Saunamen have everything they need to start buying upgrades and start pushing hardcore. Wob and Ancestral are the double lurk play. Tane tries to get into position to cut them off, doesn't quite manage it. Wee is in position to try and back up Tane, but Tane is dead. Here comes Alcalde with an incredible amount of speed. Takes him out with 2 bites, really well done. Crossroads is now going down, Computer Lab is vulnerable. And sub-access has been replaced and then pushing onto ventilation. But this is where the 2 lurks are, so really good job from the lurks to be in the right place at the right time. And they clear up Nate with ease, pretty much. Nice pistoling, almost takes out Ancestral. 2 more hits and he certainly would have been killed. I do need to be careful with the pistols and the damage on these lurks. The lurks are doing a really good job though. This is exactly what they need to be doing, is clearing up the recappers, opening opportunities for skulks to start clearing some of these extractors, but the skulks are being a little bit of a letdown because they've got 6 extractors up. Now only 5. I'm going to take it back. The skulks are doing quite well. They've taken out 5 extractors at the 5-minute mark. That's pretty damn good. But there's been so many built in total that kind of makes sense. Like, if you're holding 6 extractors, it's going to be very hard to hold all of them, and you can afford to lose one, so you probably will lose one. Ancestral and Wob, we've got Onzor as well. Onzor just needs to finish the extractor. That's his job right now. There he goes. There is a mine just in position here. If Nate falls back, he should be fine. He actually is fine because of the nice pistol shooting he's got there. We and Tane and Nitsi up in the northern section. This is the glass hallway reactor core location, and they're actually dealing with this harvester before it's even built. Ancestral flying through to the vent. Malga there takes a lot of damage and does get taken out, but Wob and Ancestral are now in position to clear out these 2 Marines. You've got armor 1 unlocked, so now these guys have just got slightly more armor, which should make it more difficult for the aliens to clear them out of this room. And clearing out this room is extremely important. This is a really valuable room for the aliens right now. They've got 2 harvesters up and 1 building. They'll probably lose the harvester. Ancestral is in the vent with extremely low health. He's worried about retreating to glass hallway. He does go for it. The harvester will go down, which is unfortunate for the aliens. The fades looking like they will be slightly delayed at this point. And the Marines are looking like they have pretty good upgrades. It's going to be weapons 1, armor 1, shotguns at about the 7-minute mark. So everything's looking pretty good for the Marines. They've got loads of money. They spent it quite wisely. There's also been expenses that you have to pay in terms of RTs and replacement IPs. But I really think the opening play was maybe mismatched. They got a really nice opening with Malga taking out an IP, which made it very difficult for the Marines. They had to fall back and defend, kind of like a beacon, but a really long one and a really risky one. And at that point, maybe it's the priority to go for those early extractors they built, and that could have been a really, really strong opening. Actually got a nice opportunity to take the base on here. Nitsi is in defense. The Lurks may be targeting those mines, because that's really hard for the Skulks to deal with. Wob flying in, he's in position to take a lot of damage from Wee. Wee's on the reload. Malga from behind takes a mine, so that was a really nice mine, saving Wee's life and making sure that the Lurks can't do significant damage. And IP goes down from Onzor, really good pickup from him. That's 20 T-res. They might replace, they actually will replace. Really good job taking that out. But the Marines have pushed into the alien hive. They're losing Spurs, Llama and Nate in a really good position to clear some Lurks and Skunks. Actually, Wob is plenty healthy and Ancestral is full, so they didn't actually clear up any life forms, but the Spur has gone down and an IP loss, so that's a pretty balanced trade overall. In fact, clearly the Marines had a significant advantage over that time in terms of resource towers, so they had 5 up where the aliens only had 1. So you can see it. This is the section I'm talking about. The last minute or so when they had that base push, the amount of resources they were sucking up there during that time is vastly different. I mean, I should stop drawing on the thing. They're vastly different, the amount of resources they sucked up over that time. So the longer the fight goes on like this, and the longer the match is coordinated with the 6 extractors versus the 1, the better for the Marines. They're getting Fez Tech at this point, which is certainly earlier than the Marines did in the previous round. Got Llama and Nate rifle shotgun, as we've seen a lot so far today. A lot of rifle shotgun 2-man plays. Tane with a solo shotgun going for a recap in the northern side, and a base push is called. You've got 2 Lurks and Skulks. The Skulks are in the northern side with a Lurk, both Lurks. Wee catches, nice kill. Alcalde goes down nice and early, and both Skulks go down, leaving Ancestral and Wob with pretty much. That's a bad beacon. That's a bad beacon. I really don't think the beacon was necessary there. They took out the 2 Skulks. There was only 2 Lurks in the base that they had to worry about, and they had plenty of time to beacon if anything else came in. And the 2 Lurks weren't really going to do anything significant apart from clear up their mines, which maybe he values more than I do. Which is what forced the beacon, perhaps. That is a low extractor, but they can't afford to take it on at this point because they have defense and scans even going down. The beacon was forced, and that's the exact time to go and harass the extractors, and Highvol knows it. The alien commander gets out to try and deal with that stuff as well. That's one of the costs of the beacon. It's not just the 10 T-res, but the opportunity to go and kill maybe 1 or 2 extractors. Doesn't seem to be hurting the Marines, though. They're starting weapons too. Wob and Ancestral slowly killing Wee there and actually taking quite a lot of damage at the same time. Wob's going for the RT that's low there, and Crevice is also taking a lot of damage as well. That's Alcalde with pretty much a free ride to take that on. Nitsi is the only one in defense, and he's actually pushing to Crossroads instead. So that's a Crevice RT that may go down. An attempted phase gate in ventilation. This is very aggressive. Good job from Wob, dealing a pretty significant amount of damage to Tane there with his ranged spike ability. Got a mine here, a mine here. It's not quite drawing as I would like. Okay, whatever. Ancestral and Wob have just gotten a kill in Crossroads. And they're falling back with pretty low health. Ancestral's going for a 1v1 up against Wee, who is parasited. He does have armor 1, weapons 1. That's all he has to his name. Nothing significantly else. I've said it again. Is he? Oh my gosh. Alright, you got Malga and Alcalde. Nice positioning. This is a really nice little corner of the room. The aliens have to come through a choke point to try and get to it. And a really good job actually getting inside that. Really good job from Malga there. Clearing those guys off. The fact that they pushed in and wasn't quite successful. Oh, tragic! The mine killing a teammate there. Despite the fact that the Lurks were actually trying to control the mines there and deal with them properly. Okay, I'm getting distracted. They're going for a replacement phase gate in reactor core, whilst the harvester goes down just next to it. They could tap that and it disappears. It does disappear passively. Wob and Ancestral flying around with these double lurks. We've got the fades very delayed at this point. Really coming along late now. We're getting to maybe the 14-minute mark when they're coming up because they got no harvesters. They even took out the harvester here. I can't believe they did that. You've got to be watching out for this. They must have taken out the cyst in that push that I was pointing out and just let the harvester die slowly. Onzor and Malga coming in to defend Saunamen's sub-access extractor. At this point, Saunamen don't have a lot of extractors, but they got way more than iMAGINE, because iMAGINE only have none. Good defense. Peachum gets out the comm chair, a little bit braver this time. Takes on that guy. 1v1, if it was a bit of a 2v1 really. You got Wee and Tane holding that northern side, and they got the phase gate backing them up, so even if they do go down, they will respawn, come straight through, and resupply. It looks like the Marines have everything they need to take this, though. Crevice will be rebuilt. They've maybe lost a little bit too much on this southern side. Llama going for a weld on the, maybe a phase gate play in ventilation. You got Tane, Nitsi, and Wee not doing much damage there. Scaring those guys off, but they're not killing the lurks at this point, and they need to start killing these lurks. They got weapons too, and shotguns, and I'm not sure what teams are struggling with at this point. I've seen teams with this much strength kill lurks with much more ease. Llama with a solo defense up against 4 guys. The range spikes were way too much, though. He gets a lot of med packs. There's no way you can take on that kind of damage, especially with the skulk bites coming in. Double lurk play, Wob and Ancestral yet again. These guys are sticking together well, and that's pretty much the only thing they have going for them is this double lurk situation. Ancestral now alone, pushing into Crossroads, but he gets a kill. Nice job from him. With the rest of the map, you haven't really got much going on. You've got aliens in this sort of bubble, not really anywhere else. Maybe going for a southern push. Maybe they're hoping to get through the vent and go for a base push. Maybe clearing sub-access first. Maybe, yeah, it looks like maybe they're going for a base push. It's going to be really tough with the phase gates, though, at this point. Nice mine! Really nice mine. Clearing the Skulk, and the Skulk is pretty much the majority of the building damage. You got Wee and Nitsi pushing into the northern area of the hive. If they can clear Alcalde here, and the other respawners and Mulga, they may be able to take on some more of those spurs. iMAGINE at this point, really poor. Still haven't replaced that spur they bought initially. And then lost Nate with a fantastic lurk shotgun blast. Really good job from him. He doesn't quite finish off the 2 skulks on top of him, but I'm sure he's very happy with that result. Wee, Nitsi, and Tane, they're at the back of this room, taking a lot of damage from that skulk that flew in. Now they're getting a lot of med packs. Wob flying around. You can actually see there. He's trying to hide up top. He comes in with the flying now. He does actually manage to tag one of those guys, and now the pounce comes in. You can see all 3 skulk and lurk combination comes in, cleans up the Marines, but they've got the respawn wave coming out of the phase gate straight away, and wow, Nate takes both of those guys. That was a really good, I don't know how he managed to get both of those. You got High Vol Commander. He's out of the chair. He's trying to participate in some of the fights. I suppose it makes sense at this point. They are out of resources to spend, so you might as well get the guy on the field to do a little bit of work. Ancestral there running around. almost tagged out of the egg spawn. Malga and Wob are the guys defending this at this point. They got the parasites coming in, the rain spikes from the lurk. It does seem to be holding these guys off, though. You got Wii in the southern side. 39 P-res on these aliens, so they will be getting the it's going to be fades that are, you know, it's really, really, really late. And the Marines have got 6 extractors up, so they're going to be really rich, have a lot of upgrades, and I don't think they're going to be too scared by the phase, and may even clear some of them, although the fact that they're struggling with the lurks, even involving this fight as well, maybe is an indication that they will actually struggle with the phase as well. Saunamen have taken all of this side of the map. They've even got a guy in ventilation, making sure that the aliens don't have that. So the money is all about Saunamen right now. Everything Saunamen has. Weapons 3 has started. That's a really good sign. Looks like this game could be closing up within the next couple of minutes. The fades are going to come out if these guys have the opportunity to spawn and then upgrade a fade egg for that amount of time. I mean, that's maybe 8 seconds where they have to just sit there in an egg, and there's no eggs on the field right now, so as soon as they see one, that's going to be a pretty important target. You got Malga doing a really good job of clearing up these Marines at the back. Nate takes him out though, Ancestral with only 1% HP. This is looking really bad. Ancestral's going to get taken out pretty quickly as soon as he's spotted, takes 1 bullet. Owenzor trying to survive just about. You got Hivol as well, the commander getting in and out of the hive trying to do damage. Llama and Nitsi, the only guys in offense in this situation now. Llama with the long range trying to support Nitsi. Here comes the respawn wave from the phase gate. Here's Wii. Probably get 2 more guys coming in very soon. Nice job from Wii. Shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. Awesome play. Now you've got the eggs being spawned. We haven't got the fades coming up because they don't have the opportunity. They don't have the safety. And they can't afford to have 2 guys just run off and leave the hive undefended whilst they get the fades. And they're unfortunately going to lose the game whilst they get the fades. Biomass was started. I wonder if he misclicked the egg upgrade. That's what they're spending a lot of their majority of their res on right now. 5 Marines in this base. Eggs are being cleared. Skulks are being cleared. No life forms. Even the commander's out of the chair trying to do some damage. This is looking like the end of the game. Really good job from Saunamen to just hold so many extractors. Look at this staggering amount of extractors they had. And you can see Saunamen were really struggling. They went up to 3. Wow. For about 30 seconds they had 3 harvesters. For the rest of the game they had about 2, 1 and sometimes even 0. So there's the fade. Malga with 2% HP comes in. He's going to get 1 shot as soon as they see him. He's actually surviving a little bit longer than I expected there. About 2 seconds longer than I expected. Really good job from Saunamen. Nice Marine win. Really nice. Really good job handling that early aggression we saw. Pow! So that was a shorter game. It was about 18 minutes, which is always handy. The initial base push was the most interesting part of that. You had Malga soloing through this vent section, and there was only 1 of him, so I wasn't predicting it was going to be particularly important. But he got through to the IP and chomped it bit by bit. It went down to 0 health. Peachum, the commander, refused to deal with it, so it went down, and then Peachum got out when the teammates came in, and he'd already lost the IP. And then at that point there were about 4 Marines dead, 2 in the base, building the IP, and the aliens had 2 options. Go for the win, there and then. Pretty good option, but the mines were in place, so it was always going to be difficult, especially with 2 Marines there. If it was only just 1, you'd have a pretty easy time. 2 is a lot more, especially with this room being pretty defensible. But the other option was to just forget the base push. Don't try and rush the victory. They had a lot of extractors up in the first 60 seconds. I think it was about 5. That leaves you with a lot of targets to just rush and kill. And they could have done, maybe not necessarily killed maybe 4 of them, but they could have hurt 4 of them to the point where they could have finished them later on. And that would have been a really safer play, and it would have been a really strong one as well. So that was an option they could have taken. After that, the Marines had a lot of extractors, and they held a lot of extractors somehow. They just sat at about 5 or 6 extractors. They took a lot of resources in. That means upgrades, that means weapons too, shotguns, phase gates all came out around about the same point because of how rich they were. the aliens were just left way behind. They were really struggling on the resources. They were taking a lot of aggression. We saw ventilation go down nice and early. Reactor core was pushed, and they got even phase tech up there at a pretty early stage of the game. The fades were delayed because of the lack of harvesters. The upgrades were dealt with. You had one spur go down and not replaced at all. And that was a really good job from Saunamen overall. Next game we're going to be going into is iMAGINE for the Marine round. To see if they can actually take another round back, see if we can go for a 2-2 from these guys. And we are seeing some of the most even games I've seen all weekend from these teams. So really good job from both of them to be so evenly matched, despite the fact that they're so really, very much so good. To be able to match each other like that is good. So hopefully we're going into round 4 sometime soon. We've got everyone on the server. Looks like iMAGINE already, waiting for Saunamen, who just won the previous round. Maybe they're discussing what went well, trying to work out what they're going to do in this round. Maybe they're trying to organise a base push, maybe work out the best way to pull it off. It's hard to know for sure what they're thinking. See, if you guys bring up in chats particular words that I'm saying more often than others, I'll forget it. Nice one, nice one. We're going live into round 4. This is the last round of the weekend for me and maybe for everyone. I'm not sure there are any other games going on right now. We've got a Eastern spawn for the Marines, a little of an early IP, and a strange start from the aliens going for this, what's it called? Shade Hive. Gorge, Nitzy in Comp Lab. We did see this in round 2 when we had Saunamen on Alien. Llama and Nate, nice one. Alcalde's hunting him though, leaving Alcalde with the advantage, but actually Nate might catch him from behind. No. Good job from Alcalde retreating at just the right time and pushing at just the right time. We may see the triple veil. Oh, nice one. So they're doing exactly what they did before, but last time they went aliens, they had the triple shell. This time they got the Gorge Tunnel to Comp Lab, the triple veil, and I wonder why. Maybe it's for like a hyper sneaky base rush. It's going to be slow and steady. They're going to run through with silence and maybe cloaking at certain times. Nice one from Llama, grabbing the upgrade in the middle of the aggressive position of ventilation, and even this is a base push. They've done it perfectly. They've got the right upgrade. They've got the positioning. Llama needs to be careful not to get pointed. Oh, why is he going for combat? Go for the base. What was that? Why did you do that? Now you've killed Onzor. He's going to get to respawn and deal with we. You could have gone for a 2v1. Now you've forced a 1v2. I don't get it. I don't get it. You got Tay in 1v1. He easily takes the kill there because he's completely silent and was invisible. Nate with Alcalde there. He's completely invisible. He snuck around like Splinter Cell around the corner. And I'm still calling it. That was a mistake to kill Onzor when he could have just rushed the base. He supplied them with a respawn and he sort of put himself... Well, he killed him. He died. So they could have just had him in base doing damage. You can see they did 58% with the 1 skulk. Imagine what that would be with 2 skulks. It would be 16%, and it probably would have been more because the situation would have been different. You got B1 getting completely wrecked by Nate there, and then Wee comes in from behind. This silence upgrade is really working wonders for them. The mine takes him, and an early observatory makes it difficult for these guys to sneak in now. iMAGINE with 3 extractors, Saunamen with 2 harvesters, Llama. Look at these guys, it's like they're AFK. I mean, Wob is literally AFK. I think he's making a sandwich. And you've got Llama up top. Is he parasited? It doesn't look like Wob is parasited, but Llama knows he's there due to sound. Llama comes in and rushes it. He had silence and invisibility. He could have taken his time. Nitsy's just popping a bunch of clogs, yeah, they're called clogs, and a tunnel, and that's a really conservative tunnel. Obviously, it's there for the infestation. The ability to actually make a shortcut, that's not the priority at this point. A double scan, so they're really, really worried about the invisibility upgrade. Really good job from the Marines hunting all of those Skulks and sending Nitsi to half health. The scan goes down again, making it very difficult for these Skulks to actually sneak up on these guys. Nitsi with about 1% HP. Nitsi just needs to call it there. He's done. If he goes into combat, he's going to die. Okay. Okalde takes him out. Tain comes in for the fight though, and Okalde takes him, so that wasn't well performed, and they are getting taken out. Now, obviously, the Veil upgrade is interesting, and it's helped them a little bit, but at this point, it's really causing some struggling issues. They're really struggling in combat because they don't have the speed or the health, which is what you get from the other two hives. I could put it in more detail, but I can't be bothered at this point. Essentially, the shade upgrade doesn't help you in combat, it helps you choose combat. Which means if the Marines push you, you're kind of stuffed. Onzo with a long range ability to take on 3 Skulks almost gets the triple kill. Nice pistol, and maybe even the quad kill if you can take out Nitsi. He's actually in a position. Oh! Onzo with the quad kill with the axe. Unbelievable, and that is why you don't go Veil. I didn't want to sell them short straight away, but that's one reason you don't go Veil. It's because you get quad killed by Onzo in the middle of comp lab. That was awesome. Alright, you got Wee and Tain, you got a couple of lurks finally on the board. Wee's getting, I mean, the Marines are playing more sneakily than the aliens at this point. The scan goes down, might catch Wee there. Good job from Wee to actually manage to escape just about. 6 extractors up for iMAGINE, so iMAGINE probably looking for a 2-2 at this point. They're struggling on the arms lab. Get the arms lab up, guys. It's the 4-minute mark. You got lurks to deal with. You need to be working on weapons 1. But they have 7 extractors, so once the arms lab is done, which it just is right at this second, the weapons 1 will be started. Shotguns are a pretty good option as well. You could probably afford to start getting those shotguns at this point. You've got a lot of money, so even if you lose the shotguns early, you'll be replacing those later on when you get the PRS. Owns RB1 and Okalde, long range rifles, taking a huge amount of damage, but you're getting a lot of med packs. Nate and Llama, actually Llama, they're really low HP. Peachum off the comm chair, trying to recover the fact that he's losing his harvester in spawn. This is something I've been seeing a huge amount more, is that these guys are pushing the harvester in the spawn location and trying to like deny that, and we didn't used to see that a whole lot. Really good job, they've taken that out, leaving Saunamen with, as I put it before, only 0 extractors. Okalde owns her in B1, long range fighting again, nice mine somewhere on the map, killing 2 Skulks, probably with a base push. That was probably a call from the commander saying, right, we're losing the game, go for a base push. They had mines in base, so they've covered their backs, really good job. You've got 2 guys in defense, Nate and Llama, they're both lurks, the rest of the guys are dead. I think it's the respawn wave. 3 Skulks in addition, one of them the commander, so he's in the chair. Armor 1 has started, now it's a little bit later than I would expect, but they're still doing alright, so can't fault them too much. B1 and Onzo are now falling back. At this point, Saunamen are struggling. They've got no money. They've got the triple veil. They're going for an Air France play. I wonder how successful it will be, because I don't think it will be. I think it's too late. I think the Armor 1's going to come up, and the Marines are already playing pretty damn well. The scans are all over the place as well, so they're finding it impossible to sneak through. You got all these lurks flying through. They've got a good amount of health. They're going for the spawn, but a huge defensive play. Mulga in B1. You've also got the commander in position. A miscall there. Some of them pushing in, some of them retreating, some of them are even separated here. The scans all over the place, and now they are just forced to retreat. Almost killed. Tain is the lowest HP, and I believe he's the guy here. Oh no, Wee's the lowest HP, and he's caught here. Tain's very low health, somewhere in sub-access. Good job from Mulga catching him. And it looks like these guys, some of them managed to actually get back to the hive. Weapons 1 has started. Everything's looking bad for the aliens. They've got, 0 harvesters getting the +1 there. It has actually been scanned. So the Marines probably know that that's a big deal. That was disorientating. We got the nice little kill from Bob, actually. Good job from him taking him on. We got Crossroads. Maybe some combat. You've got the Veil upgrade is still being used even by some of these lurks. But that's why they're investing in the scans, to deny that. You've got a lurk and a Skulk chasing down these 2 guys. Malga's doing a pretty good job overall today. Really good job again. Pistol kill onto Wee. And you've got a lot of these guys. They're being scanned. The Skulk's trying to get through the vent, but it's being countered by Malga, who kind of outsmarted that play. 2 Skulks, 2 lurks. Trying to chase these guys down. 1 in the vent. And actually they're separated here. Onzor's doing his own business. Malga's doing his own business. He's doing very well, but they were separated, so they weren't able to assist each other. Which means they did go down, and you have one Marine pushing Alcalde there. Maybe looking for an opportunity to clear some of the lurks on low health on the retreat. Maybe looking to take on a Veil. Wobb's trying to build up an 8th extractor here. Now that's pretty greedy. Although you can't fault him too much because greed is pretty good. It's kind of the point of these kind of games. He's got 3 lurks to deal with. Oh, he doesn't take... Wob, what are you doing? It's only 3 lurks. Just kill him. Nitsi has taken out Computer Lab. B1 gets tagged by the Parasite. Weapons 1, Armor 1 is done. You've got shotguns. Again, aliens sitting on 0 harvesters. 0 harvesters, you know, it's almost done, but it's still not taking resources in for them. And look at the PRS. It's dreadful. Sometimes you have fades up at this point, and that's just not the case in this scenario. Complab, you've got B1 and Onzor. They're separated slightly, actually. Onzor popping up out the vent to get line of sight with his buddy. And they're leaving their harvester open. Now, this is the only thing they have to stop them from losing the game, is this harvester. It has no maturity, which means it's very vulnerable right now. It's got low health. The cysts are being removed, so they're actually pretty vulnerable right now. You can see they've been taken out nice and quick there. A lot of the lurks are coming into position to try and deal with this. Onzor and B1 dealing huge amounts of damage to Llama, but getting taken out before they can kill any of these lurks. They're really struggling with these lurks. Just get some shotguns on the field. Get the weapons too, because I know you've got loads of money. There it is. Wob and Alcalde using the scan again, just to try and push into Crevice to get another extractor up. They're so rich right now, though. I mean, actually, let's just get... Oh, look at that! That's crazy. That's crazy, dog. That's completely different. And the aggression is always in Crevice or Flight Control or Comp Lab, which means all of it, the fights are happening in this section of the map. So that's really helping the Marines hold the extractors they've built already. Actually, they've alleviated the pressure from Comp Lab, allowing these 2 guys to get through. You got Wee trying to sneak around. Nice mine. The mines are making it so much easier for the Marines, making sure that they can't be surprised, and they don't lose that shotgun. He probably would have been surprised from the back and maybe even taken out and lose the shotgun, but because of the mine, he didn't. Mug has called it. He's going for it. Nice try with the pistol, actually. Not sure why the pistol was chosen. Wee coming out. Oh, he's loud. Oh, and he's not loud, of course. I was assuming he was loud, but that's not the case. Alcalde taking a lot of range damage, hiding behind the harvester to just try and survive. There's another harvester down. This is good game. It's just a matter of time now. It may take a couple of minutes, but without the harvester there, they've got nothing. Onzor and B1, they will get past... ooh, I thought they were going to get taken out just then. They got a load of lurks to deal with. Nice! Ah, phenomenal play from Onzor. He's really stepping it up today. That was an awesome, incredible kill on that lurk. You can see his mutilated body there. The phase take is completed, so these guys are just going to rush out, maybe start putting up phase gates in these locations around the map, making it very difficult for the aliens to get out of that quadrant. Whew. And Crevice, you've obviously got the 2 lurks in the Skulk. You've got going against Wob. At this point, though, they've got 0 harvesters. They've got the +1 in the base, which is probably going to be the next target for the Marines when they push in. And the phase tech is going to make it very easy to push in freely. Because once they get that set up, they can essentially push without risk. Good job from B1, hounding Nate there. Forcing him to defend. Alcalde takes out a fake lurk, whilst Comp Lab is pressured. And this is an opportunity for a phase gate. The scans do remove these hallucinations, and I've got to admit, that doesn't look convincing. Even if you took away the purple, it just doesn't look convincing. Llama, Tane, Nitsi with low health on his Skulk. Got those 2 lurks there as well. Wobb's doing a pretty decent job of scaring these guys off. He's got a good amount of damage, and Alcalde's going to cut him off. One singular shot onto Tane, and he's gone. Llama's got a good amount of HP. A nice shot onto him sends him very low. Nitsi as well comes in from the back. A lot of med packs coming in, making it hard for these guys to retreat to the hive. They are caught out in the wrong position. Tane goes down. Llama's in the wrong location. And this is looking very bad. B1's in a good position to take up pretty much anything he likes. Drifter, Harvester, some of the Veils. There's the good game call. Really nice job from iMAGINE. They just took so much money. They refused to be beaten. You can see the team kills weren't that disparate, actually. They were doing alright overall, the aliens. But overall, the Veil upgrade did not lend themselves to a medium game. And they just really, really struggled. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up quickly because I'm well tired. I've done about 8 hours casting this weekend and I didn't sleep that much last night because the clocks changed. Screwed me over. It went from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in a second. It's pretty much ruined my evening. So the games are done. We had a 2-2 from iMAGINE versus Saunamen there, and that's pretty much week 1 concluded. There may be a couple more matches from some other divisions, but we've had the 2 Premier matches today, and they've been pretty damn awesome. We watched Snails versus Titus earlier on the Natural Selection 2's channel with me and Wasabi. You can check that out on VOD, I would hope. Should be up straight away. I will be highlighting all my stuff to make it easier to view, so in future if you want to come back to the stuff, not a problem. Other than that, just going to say my usual thank yous to the players, of course, because without them we've got nothing to watch. To the audience, because of course they make the whole thing way more interesting. That's pretty much it. So thanks to everyone. I hope you've had fun watching my cast. If you want to see more, obviously follow me, blah blah blah. Other than that, I hope you've had fun, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!